Sorry,
Yeah.
how is my background?
Are we live? Hello and welcome to episode 135 of Niger's Geeking Out. Thank you for joining us today on this very special episode. As usual, you've got your regular Niger comic book nerds here. We're talking Red the Regular, Dapo, Tunde, and myself, Cakes. I want to jump right into it today. It's a really, it's a very exciting episode. We're very happy to be here, guys. And if you're watching us on YouTube, drop a comment and let us know that you're there. So, right. So we're going to jump right in today. But before we get into the main topic, which is the spoiler talk for a fantastic movie that dropped this week, let's talk a little bit about something that dropped about 6 hours ago, and that is the trailer for My Adventures with Superman. So who's seen this one?
I've seen it.
Seen it. Okay, cool. Is this CW? This is an animated Superman origin type thing, right? What is it?
Adult Swim, I
Adult
think.
Swim.
Not yet.
Okay. And apparently it will be on Max the very next day.
Okay. And this drops July something, right?
Yeah, something like that. Okay. I can't remember what time they said it drops.
So this basically shows what looks like a early 20s Superman, almost like 21, 22, just out of Hicksville, into Metropolis, still discovering his own powers. It almost feels like. It feels like Smallville, but post like post college Smallville, and he's meeting Lewis for the first time. Metropolis is getting introduced to Superman for the first time, and I think he's still trying to find himself in the world. That's what it feels like in this one. What do you guys think about another Superman origin series?
For me, it did feel exactly like the age he would when he left Smallville to go to Metropolis.
Yes, exactly the age. Yeah.
So that's the feeling I had.
23, yeah.
But obviously he's meeting Lewis, and I'm getting that guy, the black guy.
The black guy is Jim.
I'm guessing he's Jim.
He's Jim.
So he's meeting them for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know why this left me cold. Okay. I didn't really feel anything for it.
Nothing was just mid. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel good about it. I just looked at it a bit. Well, okay. Yeah. So it's not really exciting me.
Nothing. Yeah. Nothing. You're nothing. It. Yeah, Red. Did you watch it?
I did. I don't care for it.
Okay. Straightforward. Okay.
There's nothing. I can't sense anything new. In there. Yeah. It's nothing like, oh, maybe they're going in this direction, maybe there'll be something different. I just don't sense it.
Yeah.
It just feels like a rehash.
Like a rehash. Yes. Before I come to you, and I know you're the big Superman head, I don't know, for some reason, I want to be excited about this. I'm not watching it. I'm not excited organically, but I want to like ginger something because I'm like, it's Superman, it's animated, it's a cartoon. I want to believe that there are new things that we can explore with Superman now. And it felt like, I don't know, it just felt a little like, I want to like it because I like the arts. It reminded me a little bit of Invincible, both even in their interactions. Like, they felt like just teenish, post-teenish, I just hope it's good. I want it to be nice. I want it to be like a Young Justice. It felt like a Young Justice for Superman level. So I want to like it. So I'm going to give this a shot. I will watch the first 2 episodes and I will be reviewing this. I will take this upon myself. That one can watch Lewis and Clark.
No, trust me, I'll be there with you watching this. The fact that it's Adult Swim is a plus in my view.
Yeah, it is.
For now.
Yeah.
Until I watch it.
Okay. Let's see. Today, what's your take on this one?
Oh, I'm excited for it. I'm definitely into this particular one. Like you mentioned, the interactions, I'm all in for that. That's what I'm looking forward to most of all in this particular thing. I think that's the main standout point for the entire thing for me so far.
I have a question for you before I start gassing on all these things because it's been a long time and I'm ready for you. How much interaction did you see there in that 1 minute that you're saying this interaction? That's what I want to see. Because you're always reaching and stuff. What interaction did you see there? Lewis or whoever it is said, "Oh, I want to interview Superman," and then said, "These are the new." Somebody said, "These are the new interns." I don't even know if that's Jay Jameson, or not Jay
Perry.
Jameson.
Perry White.
Perry White. Say, "These are the new interns. Take them around." What other interaction did you see that intrigued you?
There is a level of dialogue we've come to expect from CW. Anything above that is good.
Oh, so you've lowered your standards. That's what you're saying.
No,
Okay,
I'm just saying.
I can check that.
I'm saying this is better than what we've been getting so far. So that's a plus in my books already.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know, Red. It just felt more organic. It felt organic. I think that's it for me. I don't know.
I'll wait for your reviews after
We'll
one
see.
or two. If you say yay, then I'll catch up.
Okay. I just, given what we've seen over the last few years, I think this will be good. Yeah, I think this will be good. And because it's animated, they can do whatever they want in terms of the action and the, so let's see. Cautiously optimistic is what I'll say. I also wanted to touch on, guys, recently, this last week, I think this past week, a special issue dropped of Spider-Man number 26, with Zeb and I was going to say J. Jonah Jameson, John Romita Jr., which something quite. I don't want to even use the word iconic. I don't want to use it's something hefty, but at the same time, the way it was delivered was so anticlimactic and so it was such a cheap shot, such a slap in the face. And I'm referring to the Spider-Man number 26 and the death of Miss Marvel, not Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, who was killed by I don't even want to say villain of the week, to be honest, by a character called Rabin. And this is a new character, guys. Am I right, or is this a pre-existing one? Today, did you know about Rabin?
I don't care. Like, okay. All these things I've seen, I read this book, I don't care.
Okay.
I didn't bother researching the history. I didn't bother checking anything. That's how little I care about this particular storyline.
Okay. But did you know anything about this Rabin before this? Is this a pre-existing character or something?
I think for me, as far as I know, it's a fairly new
same
character.
Same.
And
almost a Morland type of character, right?
I think you're giving it too much praise. I mean, yes.
That's
what they're trying to go for.
Yeah, like a character that's chasing Spider-Man to kill Spider-Man for something. And I'm like, okay, why? We already have a Morland who does this. Anyway, go on. You were going to say about the death.
No, I just... It surprised me. I mean, I'm reading a Spider-Man comic. And, yes, initially, it seemed as if Mary Jane was killed, which instantly I knew was not true anyway. And it was Miss Marvel using her shape-shifting abilities. Weirdly, something we've not seen for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I think she's not used that since you used to appear as Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I mean, even she was surprised that she could still do it.
Yeah. And then it turns out she ends up getting killed.
Yes.
I just find it weird that why is she dying in a Spider-Man comic? This was a character that had her own series for quite a long time. She's much heralded. She's in the MCU. She's got a movie coming out soon. It just didn't add up to me. And I was reading this comic, is this a joke? And then I see the events laid out. They're going to mourn her passing and all that kind of stuff. I don't get it. I honestly just don't get this at all. And the people involved with her creation are also involved with this trash, rubbish thing they're doing. So, yeah, I'm baffled personally.
The people, yeah. When you say the trash, rubbish, if you're talking about the death part of it, yes.
Yeah, the death part. The death part, yes.
I mean, we know she's going to be resurrected at some point. But what I'm very disappointed in, like you said, is the very almost innocuous death that she suffers in this comic book. Yes. And it was like the last few pages as well.
Exactly.
And it wasn't even much of a sacrifice, if I'm being honest. It didn't feel like she jumped in front of a bullet or anything. I mean,
she She was just stabbed in the back. She was stabbed in the back
Yeah,
or something like
she was
that.
stabbed in
Wasn't
the
it?
back. Yeah, she was stabbed in the back. Yeah.
It was like Vision in Infinity War.
Oh, she died like a nun.
Yeah, like a total noob. There was no build up. There was no massive fight scene. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like an Agbero in the streets.
And I was,
What's going on?
Even reading their reactions, I was a little bit irritated that nobody could tell that was Kamala Khan. Until she pulled off her mask, and I was like,
"Yeah,
are we really still saying that you work with this chick every day, and then you spoke with her, while you were superheroing, and it never occurred to you that this was? I mean, that felt a bit silly to me. I'm more than a little disappointed. I don't sing praises for Zeb Wells, to be honest. I've been quite disappointed in him for the last few bits, but this is innocuous. This is pointless. Now I take it that they want to use this as some sort of a springboard for Miss Marvel comic books, and they want to bring her back in a big way and give her a number one and introduce her
by killing her first.
Guaranteed. They want to do a whole event around this fallen friend. So they want to do a whole arc, I should say, after this called Fallen Friend.
How does that make sense?
They're going to kill her. Okay. There's going to be the mourning, her sacrifice, blah, 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 blah. And then, like Superman, they'll open her coffin or whatever it is that Hindi people do before they burn her body. And then they'll realize that she's not there. And then
was it Tunde who said, or was it Tunde or Kuso who said that was putting forward it might be a scroll death, or somebody was putting that theory forward. If they go with that, I would off punt totally.
Wait, why? Why would you?
It would be even worse.
Of all the things to do,
it would be even worse.
Because they showed that Major died, but it was a shape changer, i.e., her instead. But then she dies, and then what? Oh no, it's another step changer. That to me that would be like
a double whammy of nonsense. Yeah, it'll be a double.
That's the kind of brilliance I can expect.
Now that I hate it, I've got this bad feeling. That's what it's gonna be.
Funny enough, I've never even been a fan of the character. I've said.
Well, we know you. Listen, we know you have no heart, no soul, no spirit.
I've never been a fan of hers. But she had her place. She had a place as a young superhero that had stepped up. Her, Miles, there were some of the few ones that were new characters introduced in their youth who had been stepping up as, kind of the next generation. So, and, she was Muslim Pakistani as well. Minority, yeah. And a lot of people actually identified with her. She was almost, I would say, like a double minority, being female and being, triple female, Pakistani and Muslim. So to do that, the return or the resurrection has to be immense. Whatever it is that Mark Waid, who is doing the Fallen Friend, is going to write. I mean, best of luck to him. He's someone that I do trust.
Wait, this has been written by Mark Waid?
Not this one. The Fallen Friend,
the one
story arc is going to be written by Mark Waid.
Oh, okay. That is quite.
Now you're interested.
He's intrigued at the very least.
I like Mark. Yes.
Yeah. So he's someone who can turn this around. I'm just still a little iffy, but we'll see where it goes.
He's not turning anything around. Please don't give yourself any hope.
For me,
that is going to be trash.
If she never comes back, that's fine. I just think there are better ways to kill our characters, or superheroes, I should say. And such iconic superheroes, whether you like it or not, that symbol where you see it, it's Miss Marvel. The character's powers. The what she calls it when she does her embiggen. So these are all things that we've attached to her, and I've heard that she's probably even the best part of the whole Avengers game that was on PS4.
Yeah, a lot of people rave about her.
We'll see. But hopefully, her death anyway. Hopefully, should translate to the MCU, and they'll get rid of the trash one we have in the MCU. Anyway, moving on to today's main show and what it is that people have been waiting for, and that is, of course, Our review for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Yes, guys. This is the sequel, the hotly anticipated sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse that dropped a few years back. I think what maybe 4 or 5 years now?
2019,
2019, 4 years ago. Yes. So they taking their sweet time to drop this. And boy, are we happy that they took their time, because this is how a multiverse should be done. People got equal shine in this one. Nobody was jobbed. Well, some people were jobbed. Let's be honest. Quite a lot of people were jobbed, but nothing nothing offensive. And I think I should start by saying that this ends on a cliffhanger. So people, if you're going in, know that this is almost like a Matrix Reloaded or a Empire Strikes Back. It ends on a cliffhanger, and then it will be continued to the third part. So we're going to start, as always, with our non-spoiler review, where we're going to talk about the plots in general, without diving too deep. What we thought about the plots, what we thought about the characters, what we thought about the voice cast, and then go ahead and give our ratings. And then we're going to start with the spoiler review, where we'll give our short what we liked, what we loved in the spoiler section, and then we'll get our callers to join us. So we've got a couple of people waiting in the green room already. Red, have you seen this film?
I have seen it, yes.
You've seen it. Okay. So you're one of the people that has contributed to the box office takings for this film. This film has been around for one weekend. Am I right?
4 days, 5
yes.
No, 5 days.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Thursday. Yeah, exactly. So 5 days. And this film has how much, Dabo?
Sorry, over 200 million.
Because he was in the middle of the street.
Did you guys make a prediction?
We did.
Yes.
did
Kex,
last
what
week,
was your
yeah.
prediction again?
We did. Somebody had a couple of 800s, I think. I'll check while we're checking that one. Yes. So this movie so far has made how much?
209 million.
209 million. How does that compare to the first in one weekend?
Yeah, well, to be honest, the whole of the first
previous
film
one,
did make
yes.
more than 370. Somewhere in that
Wow.
ballpark, if I remember correctly.
Wow. Yes.
Overall, and that's
Yes.
worldwide. So
Yes.
this is a good start. A really, really
very,
good start.
very strong start. I mean, this is a start that I don't think a lot of people were expecting at all.
No,
Okay.
No, some people were expecting it.
Who was
No,
If
I
you're
think it was.
I was.
Okay, go on. I'm not going to argue.
Yes, no, don't
I-
bother arguing.
I don't.
And
I don't
then
want to talk
compared to the first, it's like a 270% increase in terms of opening weekend numbers. So that's well,
I predicted 650. That was predicted 825. So they predicted 800.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So, Red, please tell us this movie. When did you watch it? Who did you watch it with?
I watched it on Saturday. I watched it with the whole family.
Okay. What did they think?
What did they think?
Has everybody in the family seen the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
We all saw
Okay.
it. We all liked it.
Okay.
What did they think? They loved it. I drove home having to answer questions until I got into the mode of, look, that's canon. Just leave me alone. Like, why this? Why that? Why? But can we start talking about it? Or
Yeah, we can, but we can talk about the plot, but not spoilers. If
No
we can go
spoilers,
without
yeah.
spoilers, yeah.
yeah. So for me, I think I kind of gave Dakpo I gave him a screenshot of what I typed immediately after. I know you guys keep talking about the whole animation and everything.
Yeah.
It was a lot more than that for me. I'm not even talking about them. This is an absolute shout out, a call out to Spider-Man geeks. Like, if you've ever been into Spider-Man lore, I don't care if you're 60 years old, I don't care if you're 70 years old, I don't care if you're 10-year-old. There's something in there for you. There's something in there for every single generation. Even up to what's that first Spider-Man cartoon? The 1967?
60s.
Yeah.
Every single person showed up. And it. And for each period, they
captured something about it.
Even the essence. Exactly, that's what the essence. Then I kind of noticed that we talked about the ballet shoes. immediately that show
But hold
started.
on quickly before you
Yeah,
continue. You said
yeah.
it's a shout out to, but at some point, does it get too much? Just a quick question to the everybody
No,
here.
not for me. No, I don't think so. No,
Likewise, not for me.
I don't think it gets too much because I don't even think I'm into Spider-Man lore like that, but I enjoyed it. So I can't
yeah.
imagine.
I want to
can't
say
imagine.
no. It wasn't too much as well today, but I found myself trying to quickly identify all of them. So I was, if they should, I was getting annoyed when they
Moving too
move
fast.
away.
Yeah, but
you know,
that's what the rewatch is for.
That's
That's
what
what
your
second
rewatch
watch
yeah,
is.
is
true,
That's what your
true,
Blu-ray
true,
is for. That's
true.
what. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had a lot of details just scattered all over. I know I missed a lot. I saw some in spoilers chat that are like, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't even
You were
think
talking about the
that.
shoes, yeah, the points of shoes.
So the shoes. Then there was something about how they captured Miles,
Yes,
like
yes,
not just his growing up,
yes.
his
His character.
his character, his growing up.
Ah,
Then a certain giddiness, like he's not quite the adult, but he's no longer a
yes,
kid.
yes.
One part stood out for me when Miguel
no
was
spoilers. No
no
spoilers.
spoilers. No,
Oh,
when
okay.
Miguel was coming, no, I'm not spoiling. When Miguel was coming down, and
Yes.
it was very anxious, and he
Yes,
couldn't stand
yes.
still. It was for all of like 3 seconds. And I'm like, wow, this is the
Yeah.
kid in this guy,
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
the facial expressions, then the conversations with the parents. I know everybody talked about the whole parents thing. That is, look, if you have a child,
Yes,
there's no how.
yes,
There's no how. They got you from the start.
yes.
They got you from the
think,
start.
and I think sorry to interrupt you, Red, and I'm going to
Yeah.
go back to
Yeah.
what you're saying about the parents. I think the first one was very much a father-son relationship, and the second was mother-son.
So the cinema was
And
packed. The cinema was packed. Beside me were two youngish girls. It was so, oh, and I come back with the call, oh, that's so sweet.
What, they were hugging themselves.
Yeah, no, I mean when
he had his
talked-
mom.
Oh, okay, all right,
when
got
Miles
you.
were like,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that,
I thought you meant
make
the girls.
Yes.
no, make sure you come home. I'll bring
Yes.
you home.
Yeah,
Don't.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I think that's
Yes.
touching, but not as touching as you guys are thinking. But there was something in it for everyone. There wasn't a super gangastic, like a bring me Thanos Thor appearing in Wakanda moment. But on a lesser scale, there was something every single
Almost
area.
every frame. Yeah.
Every single frame.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I mean, I loved it.
I mean, I'm sorry, Red. I'm just going to
Yeah.
piggyback off what you said,
Yeah.
and then I'll pass it to Tunde. But exactly, like the parent-child relationship in this one is so strong, and not just with Miles and his mother, but with Gwen and her dad as well.
Yes.
And it's a man trying to raise a girl who is going through things, and he's like, I don't know. You could tell that he's like, I don't know how to connect with you, and you used to be my baby girl, and now you're this person, and you're like, and I can feel you drifting, but she's still a child because she still likes hugs with daddy, that kind of stuff, but there's so much that she can't share, and it's like a war between them, and it's the same thing with Miles and his parents as well.
One more thing, without spoiling, there was a moment in there where I wanted to scream out, Loki TVA, this is how you do it. Like,
Can you give more details?
No, you can't.
Without entering, can you give more details on?
When we're showing like the multiversal tree and like how you guys, like, in Loki,
yes,
when Kang tried to do the
yes.
same thing and just start pulling on the strings and stuff, like this, you guys, are you sure you guys work for the same studio? Like did you
They
take notes?
They don't.
They don't, absolutely. They don't. This is how you should tell a multiversal concept, even though what Miguel was saying was still BS. But but he believes it's BS, right?
Yes.
I don't think he's being insidious or
No, he's not. No,
but he believes it's BS. But this is how you do it. You know that moment in Bad Boys where Will Smith was saying, like,
That's how
"This is
you drive.
That is how you drive." That's what's coming to my mind. Like, Loki, this
Yeah.
is how you do multiverse. So
Yeah.
I'll just let you pass that to me.
Okay, cool. So where did you see this? Did you see it alone?
Actually, I just saw it today.
Okay.
I
Okay.
couldn't sit over the weekend up until today, and
Okay.
I saw, like, for me it was the first then going to the hall to see the second one almost immediately afterwards. So it was like a straightforward experience of experiencing everything all at once. And yes, it's an amazing experience. Like, there's so many bits to nitpick from the beginning up until the very end. The opening sequence, I think for me, it's one of the things that stood out the most.
Mhm.
The From the visuals to the dialogue
Mhm.
sequences, every single bit of that opening scene,
Mhm.
it hits me hard in the
Did you
feels.
cry?
Everything. Like, I'm not cakes.
Okay.
So
That was a layup and he dunked it, but continue.
You actually missed him. Oh, go on. Okay, go on.
but yeah, like, there are some bits that's like the
Stood out to
what's
you.
this thing called? Uh when they were hanging over the, is it the Empire State Building?
Yeah, so they're sitting upside down.
That visual, it's it's epic. Let's just put,
It's
like,
I don't know
yeah.
why they've never done that in live action. It's just so amazingly beautiful. I'm going to look for a watercolor painting of
I'll
that.
put
It's
on your
so
wall.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
I think coming down to the watercolor thing, there are so many, like this one movie where almost everything is a watercolor poster.
In
Like,
in 65 though.
In
In
Gwen's world.
Ben's Wall, 65
Yeah,
was watercolor.
yeah,
no, I'm saying that
Although,
almost every scene of this movie, it's a painting. It's like something
yeah.
you
The
can put, it's a
painting.
yeah,
wallpaper.
yeah,
Almost every
absolutely,
single
yeah,
scene, like
yeah.
you can take up any scene
So
of it and
beautiful.
just throw it up as a wallpaper, and you're good to go. It's That's perfect.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yeah. Going on, but like the plots, the you've mentioned a lot about the emotional heft of the film,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something I can't take away from the movie. Like, there are some things, and I'll enter my complaints in the spoiler section because I don't want to go
Mm-hmm.
into that now. But like, the emotional heft hits really hard. The
Okay.
parents, the discussions they had with the kid, it's like, yeah, it's the core of the movie, and they had a slam dunk with that as well. The action sequences, very long but beautiful to watch. Fan
It
service
was
on
long.
point.
I
Ye-
thought it was long.
Yeah.
It was quite long.
Yes.
Go on.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
So fan service beautiful as well. I mean,
Beautiful.
that will go on and on about all the times he's trying to pause the movie and
See what
identify.
all the three Spider-Man were like, stop.
Yeah.
I laughed at that point.
So yeah,
Yeah.
there is that as well that I absolutely loved. What else again is there to talk? Like, I spent the last hour after I left the hall just trying to gather my thoughts together and put it into, like, okay, so this is,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's one of those things I think I'm going to watch over and over again, just to, and that's the highest praise I can give a movie,
okay,
that I'm
Okay.
going to go back and watch this movie over and over again to
yeah,
dissect every single bit of it. So yeah.
agreed. Okay, thank you. So Dapo, your thoughts? When did you watch this?
So I watched it on Friday, which was my son's birthday,
Mhm.
and
Which one, the
his
mayor one or the other one?
the mayor guy.
What's
The
up
one
with that guy's face? What's up with that guy's face? Every time that guy looks like he's unimpressed with anything that happened in the world. Like
that's his resting face.
it's like, man,
Nothing, nothing impresses him. Doesn't like anything.
that guy should be a race car driver. He's
He's
too cool. Like his blood is like, yeah,
and
man.
but weird enough, I think it was about a month ago. We were doing little tests. You know how you do, like, oh, what's your favorite movie? And
Yeah,
he asked me that, do I know his favorite movie? And I was guessing everything, and I got it all wrong.
yeah.
And his favorite movie is Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh wow.
So this coming out on his birthday, he just said, no, that's what I want to do on my
Yeah,
birthday. So
yeah,
I went with
yeah,
him and
yeah,
my nephew.
yeah.
So we three went. So we watched it. Yeah. So we watched it in
Okay.
IMAX.
Okay.
Bottom line, we all came out happy, very, very happy. There was no. The nephew was angry at the ending.
At the end,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he was really good. Fair enough, even though beforehand I was aware that this was I totally forgotten about it. As when it ended, I went, huh? I was really surprised, and then it took me like a second. Oh yeah, that's true. There was an audible gasp in the cinema when the to be continued came up. People were
But at some point, everybody had to have figured out that there's no way they can wrap
No.
this thing up in the next
Right.
10 minutes.
Impossible.
Let's go.
Impossible.
So the thing is, I
too much, yeah.
was so lost. I was not watching time. Toye, my son, he said he was thinking that, hang a minute, are they going to resolve all of this in the next? That he clocked the time where they were at, and he was thinking, surely they can't finish. So he kind of clocked onto it. But me and the nephew, we totally were kind of with the film. I mean, I don't talk too much. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Red's talked about the colors, the different art styles used for the different universes. Love that. The whole parent thing, that hit me hard. And especially at this stage, I'm literally at the same stage with my son and with the mayor guy as Miles is with his dad. It's literally the same stage. And I literally at one point in the cinema, I turned around and looked at him.
Why is this man?
And I thought, after watching this, all I can think of is you. And so we talk about parenthood. I think both films had parenthood as a theme. But I think this also had what I call coming of age. This is where a kid becomes an adult.
Yeah.
And it's that transitional period, which is always a hard thing for both the dad and the child. And I felt that a lot from this film. And I thought, okay, these guys, actually, I should have Googled it. I don't know if they have kids, but they can. If they don't, they get it. They get the whole transitional period. Because I think this film to me was more. First thing to me was more Miles becoming a Spider-Man. To me, this film feels more like Miles Morales becoming his own man, like becoming an adult and becoming more sure of himself. But I don't want to go too deep into that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's zoomed straight up my chart of CBM movies. It's number 6 now on the list for me.
Okay. I think that's a good spot.
It's a very good spot.
Yeah. I was supposed to see this on Thursday, but I had to work, so I missed it. So I saw this on Friday instead. And absolutely, like, blown away. And like Tunde said, I had a lot to unpack when I finished it. I was really overjoyed, but I also felt like I'd been through the ringer with him because he'd been through quite a lot, both from his side of the family and with Miguel and the other Spider-Man. And I even felt for Gwen as well, because she'd been through a lot. She'd been through a tragedy, and it just feels it's a very, very, it packs a lot. And I don't just mean the action, but also in terms of the emotion. It packs a lot in this movie.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Without spoiling, that part where he said, I'm supposed to stand and watch them die and just let them die.
Yeah, that definitely spoilers. Yes, I mean we're going to take it into spoilers.
Yeah,
I was like,
no context, but like,
how are you supposed to give this to? I was like, this kid is 15.
Yeah,
he's really young. He's really young, and I have some things to say about sport. And one thing as well that I really, really loved as well was his love story with Gwen. And this is how someone who is 15, totally unsure of himself, would behave with a slightly older girl that he has a mad crush on, and that she's his friend. And he's like, I don't know how to approach this. Like, I like this girl, but man, I don't know. I don't want to wreck it. And, she obviously has feelings for him as well, but I'm not entirely certain it's not, younger brother type feelings. I don't know if it's entirely romantic that she has with him. Or maybe best friend.
She did drop a hint. Well, we can go in spoilers.
Okay. We'll talk about it in spoilers. Okay, but let's jump into ratings, shift to spoilers, and then as a crew, just kind of talk about spoilers, and then we throw open the The Green Room. Red out of 5.
Let's get to 4.8.
Wow. Wait, you know that's the highest you've scored anything, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. Because I can't fault it. I can't.
That's
I've
nice.
tried. I can't fault it. I can't find any. I've looked for faults. Like maybe Tunde might be able to help me spot some faults, but I doubt it.
Don't worry,
No
I'm here
pun
for you.
intended.
I got you.
All right, Tunde, what do you want to rate this out of 5?
I'll give it a 4.25.
Okay. That one?
4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 for me. 4.5 for me. All right, that one. Do you want to give us the intro into the spoiler section?
Yeah, so guys, anybody listening or watching, if you've not seen this film yet, please go away, do yourself a favor, and come back, well, at the end of this podcast, because we are really going to get deep into spoilers. And you can always come back to listen to it once you've watched it. Okay? And without much further ado, we are now in the spoiler section, guys.
I'm going to start with something. This one or the first one, Red, which do you prefer?
I'll say this one.
Okay, so this one or the first one, which one do you prefer?
First one, easy.
Okay, that one.
First one.
Okay, thank you. So who do we want to start with?
What about you? Which one do you prefer?
I prefer the first one. And the reason why I prefer the first one is it felt like a complete story about him. So this had lots of other pieces. I absolutely love this film. But that first one just kind of has a special place. It just had a special place. And I think the ingredients worked, particularly with Peter B. That first one. Because that first one to me is a perfect film. And this is not.
Well, this one for me is it's all the other little things.
Yeah.
Beyond the story for me, it's the whole. But so go ahead.
Okay. So, do we want to start with Tunde or Red? Should we kick off with you, please, and then we'll go to that one. Spoilers. Anything jumped out at you? Can we start first of all by talking about the person who stole this movie? And let me kickstart with that chap,
Hobie.
our guy, Hobart. What did Tunde say?
I said sports.
No, not sport.
Sports House Club. Hobart, thank you. I mean, Hobie, yeah. You said it, yeah. I mean, he just stole. I mean, if he's not maybe top 2, top 3 characters for everyone who's seen this film, I don't know what is. Like, everybody absolutely loves him. I mean, Daniel Kaluuya.
No, that's the original. That's the original Prowler.
Who is
Hobie? That's the when Stanley created Hobie, he was a Prowler.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's a different Hobie.
Oh, that's a different Hobie.
That's a different Hobie.
Yeah. I know exactly. Yeah. The Prowler in the comics is also called Hobie, but this is like
sure.
Yes, totally different universe.
Okay. Let's put this on what we need to.
Okay.
Don't tell me not Hobart, because his name is Hobart Hobie Brown. You don't read comic books. Don't talk, man. Don't be your video. That's not anything. You're correcting somebody when you're wrong.
You guys are going to go make me Google now. Okay.
Sorry.
Please Google. Yes.
Anyway, so Red, yes. So Hobie, Daniel Kaluuya, thoughts, like or no like?
I liked him, but it wasn't
just liked, really?
Yeah, it wasn't the best thing for me in the show.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, I was crazy about him.
What, Hobie? Are we talking about Hobie, right? Okay. But remember, Red's American. Anything British,
you will automatically not like.
No, I won't like it. No. But outside of his being British,
we have a comment from the YouTube where somebody's saying India Spidey is my guy. I did like that guy.
Oh, yes.
Exactly. He was better.
Yeah.
I think he was.
I would ask you guys to rate them, rank them, favorite to least favorite of the new ones we saw.
Of the new ones. So that would be
number one for me.
I know who you're gonna say.
my sister.
You know she's pregnant. She's pregnant for someone.
What was Hobie Brown's name?
At some point, she was not pregnant, wasn't she? So I can imagine her not pregnant.
But the one that you're liking is the pregnant one.
Yeah, but she was not. Before she, there was a time she wasn't pregnant in the past. So I can imagine her without the pregnancy. Now I like the character design of that new Jessica Drew.
Okay. Yeah, my favorite was Hobie. After Hobart, then who else do we have?
No, but to
Who
be
else
honest,
do we have?
actually, can I change my mind?
Okay, Pavit. Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Pevitz as my favorite.
Okay.
Because I
okay.
remember when it was actually swinging, I was saying, "Oh, I like this guy. I like this guy."
The way he uses the bangles,
The
and
bangles,
he that is amazing. That was really that whole sequence where the four of them were going through Pavit's world and saving people, and he was and yeah, gosh, I mean the way Miles goes and he's giving orders, almost like, okay, you two stop the building, Pavit and I will get. It's like he's really coming into his own,
confidence,
and the way they work so effortlessly together. I'm like, yeah, this is really good. Like, no need for any like commands or anything. Everyone's just like, okay, I'm going to swing here, and no need for speech. They're just doing their thing. That whole sequence is just super, super awesome. Super awesome. Today, who was your favorite and who was your least? I mean, Miguel's everyone's least. I mean, it's almost like we don't even need to say it.
No, Miguel was not my list though.
Okay.
Why will Miguel be your list?
Because he's a dickhead. Because he's a complete asshole.
But that is.
But it's a good character.
That's a sign of someone who sold his role. It's like Joffrey.
Joffrey. But I can't. And I hate Joffrey so much
because he did.
He did his thing. Yeah. So because an asshole, and that's exactly what Miguel O'Hara was.
Miguel was intense. There was a part where he was walking and was showing his back and was going. I could feel the menace.
He's a dickhead.
And that's one thing that I don't know how they did. I mean,
dickhead.
How you could take art and show tension in somebody's body. I don't know how you do it, but every time they showed Miguel, especially when he was turning his back, it was almost like it was arched over. I could feel the aching, the pressure, everything from it. This guy is stressed, man. This guy needs a massage.
This guy needs a massage. So, who was your least then, Red? Okay, you have to think about it.
I know who my list was.
So, did you have a favorite?
Ben was my list.
Same here.
Straight to the bottom.
Yeah,
I don't care. Ben.
He was comic relief. So
he was sorry. He was proper sufferhead.
He was comic relief,
and it's like he carried the sufferhead into marriage.
No, now we're not talking about that one. We're talking about Ben Riley sweatshirt. Blue sweatshirt, comic relief.
No, I thought you were talking about Peter B. Sorry.
No, that be.
Oh yeah, Ben Riley, the clone.
Voice work, this whole thing. I mean, I thought it was absolutely phenomenal.
I think who was Miguel?
Stacy.
Was it Oscar Isaac?
Oscar Isaac, yes.
He was brilliant.
Oh, he was Miguel.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
he was just brilliant.
He was absolutely brilliant. He was just a little too much. Just a little. I was like, this guy is still a kid. Yeah. And this is where.
Which guy?
Miles. Miles is still a child.
Oh, Miles.
And you basically are trying to kill him for not standing by while his father dies.
He wasn't trying to. He was trying to imprison him initially.
I would agree, but some of the strikes he took against him, it looked like he was trying to kill him.
Yeah, I think so.
At first,
this is not what we talked about. Right? What did they talk about? We still don't know.
Exactly.
Right?
This isn't what we talked about. This is if you're trying to incapacitate somebody, from you, like he kept going with his talent. I was like, dude, he's a child.
Miguel has anger problems anyway.
And I was so disappointed that Gwen knew that his dad was going to die as the captain. And when it was revealed to him and he looked at her and he was like, so like you knew, you came to see me where we hung out and you knew that my dad was going to die. For me, it was betrayal. I was quite disappointed.
To be fair, this is someone that accepted our own dad was going to die as well and left him.
True.
Let's put that in perspective.
True. But but that is still. I don't care about your father. I care about mine. When you came to my house and you were eating food when that's cold, man. That is cold. Some things I wasn't crazy about. Tunde, do you want to start first? What you want
as the hate monger?
Yeah.
I go last.
Okay.
For this one.
I don't have anything I hated about it. So
two things for me. And these are just minor nitpicks, to be fair. I don't understand how his parents are so, I wouldn't say lackadaisical. No, that's not the word. But you have a black child in Brooklyn and a 15-year-old, and a white girl comes comes out of his room, and you're like, "Where's my son?" And she's like, "I'm going to get him back." Da, 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 da. And he's talking, and you're like, "Make sure he's safe. Tell him to come back to us." I'm like, "Are you raging?" No, you're not going on to tell me where my child is. Are you mad? You are in his room. You tell me you know where he is. It felt quite.
what do you expect? What do you expect them to do for
You're not going.
But for a parent who feels is already losing the grip on the kid.
Red.
Yep.
I'm going with you. I'm a police officer. I'm going. You're not leaving.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that though.
My kid. You're not leaving. My only child.
Yeah.
We're going together to go and get him.
That scene did not ring true. Well, it
It's.
did not ring true for me as the way I would behave in that scenario.
It felt like.
I don't have a problem with it.
The only thing I
you're trusting this stranger too much to bring your child back.
Yeah, but so the only thing I would say in his defense, Kex, would be he could not get too aggressive because she's also clearly a kid. So there's kind of but I know I would be a lot more. No.
Let's go together. Yeah, let's go and get him. Where is he? Let's go and get him. I did wish in this whole movie that he had told his parents from the start. I think that's another discussion, a separate discussion that we need to have. I didn't like that they let her go so easily. And he tended not to use his camouflage powers enough. I was like, where he was being chased, I was like, just camouflage yourself. They can't see you, man. Why? Yep. I mean, he wanted to lure them away from the spider cage or spider cave or whatever. But dude, I mean, this is one really cool, awesome power that you have and nobody else has, and you barely use it. So there was that. But all in all, I mean, very, very minor stuff, if I'm being honest. But overall,
what's the second one?
That was the second one. That he doesn't use his camouflage.
Oh, enough. The second one. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't use his camouflage enough, which is a very cool ability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today,
go on.
Oh, Dakwa doesn't have any.
No, not really. I think I have something I wish was in it, but I don't think there was anything in it that I was. I mean, Kex pointed that bit out to me. Yeah, I had a slight. I did feel that doesn't ring true to me, but at the same time, I guess people behave differently. Yeah. Having said that, though, I know Mexican parents tend to veer more towards the Nigerian side of things. Than the so. But I think the one thing I wanted, and it's strange saying this because there was a lot of fight scenes, but I wanted a lot more Miles fighting one-on-one with other spiders. And not getting away so easy. I wanted a bit more of that.
They have fought then.
That was too easy.
Yes, I felt that. That's what I felt.
That was too easy. Yeah. That was I let it go to further the plot, but that was he got away too.
I had canon that as him being super smart, that he was already working out.
But they're all genius levels.
Absolutely.
So my head canon was the opposite. My head canon was the other spiders were being a bit lenient. That as a kid, they'll be
they're not totally being on board with what
Miguel's over the top.
Okay. Because they felt like lemmings, like after him. Okay, let's go. I was like, think for yourselves, lads.
They felt privileged to even be there, right? It's supposed to be a select.
If they are Peter Parker, then there is that frisson of conscience and great power and great responsibility, which they'll be like, don't know if this is right, But okay, let's further the plots. Let's move it on. They're all chasing him and they all ran out of the place. Okay, today, so things you didn't like.
That's good.
Biggest complaints that
we don't have all day, by the way. Just to let you know.
That's why I said you guys should talk first, so I will take my time. So please, I've allowed you to talk. Now you listen to me. But all my complaints stem from one core issue. This should not be two movies. This should be one. That is it.
Oh.
It should be one. everything they are trying to split up into the second part should be in this particular part. We are losing a lot of the payoff of this, like the discussions with his parents, the coming back to tell the parents the truth, everything, the promised ending with him going to rescue his dad and all of that. It should be in this movie and not in another movie entirely.
What if it
It's
doesn't
like I've watched.
Completely disagree with you.
What if it doesn't
Let
end
me
up
finish.
similar?
Let
No,
me
of
finish.
course,
Like
I will.
it's supposed to be like I at the end of this film, it's like I've watched half of a movie and I'm stopping in the middle without any of the. It doesn't feel like
Payoff.
Infinity War where it's split into two and there's a conclusion. There's no conclusion to this thing. Every single plot thread is just left dangling till the next movie. The issues, the structure from the beginning, we don't get a resolution to them. The only one we get something
How
of a
did how
resolution
did how did
to,
Infinity War complete? I mean, more than half of
it's
them were ghosted, and
that's
half
an
of the world was
ending.
ghosted.
That's an ending. This is not an ending.
Okay,
What we
this
have
one
here,
too is an ending. He ended up
it's
in the
not.
alternate universe and was killed
No,
by the
no,
Prowler.
That's the start of a new thing entirely. It's not an
Yeah, but
ending.
no.
okay.
So
Today, I
text.
don't agree with you, but cool.
I'll have to go today because in Infinity Ending, it ended badly. There was an end. Phoenix accomplished what he needed to do. He went to rest on the farm. It was there was a cold ending to it. Whereas this one literally stopped at the beginning of an action scene. I've got my group now. We're going to go and fight, and it just stopped. So I can see the difference between the two. The fact that it took me out because I was really expecting it. Whereas the Infinity War one, you knew was ending. It was very clear the way they were wrapping up. That we lost, we're sad, and all that kind of stuff. So I can see to this point.
Let me continue.
Okay,
Let me now
please,
continue
sorry.
on this thing now because
Yes.
this is the overarching thing, and it leads to so many root causes, so many things that bothered me throughout the entire thing. The
Okay.
discussion with the Ed 42 mom that bothered me a lot because even the way Miles was talking, like, oh, I beat them all, I did this. I know it was foreshadowing for it's not in the universe, but that discussion, the way Miles was talking, it didn't feel like him at all. And then having that discussion there and then, it's see, I was waiting for that discussion for the entire movie. Him coming back to tell the mom the truth, tell the parents the truth. Having it being a switcheroo at that point in time, it took me out completely. It was
So
completely out of place.
can I
I would
counter
rather,
that?
yeah.
I can counter that with a teenager who has very little way teenagers' brain develop, and maybe Doc Ayomide will agree or disagree. Their risk level or how they perceive risk is very different, and he now faces the real possibility of his parents dying. So it's a case of, oh, I'm not talking to my dad, I'm treating my dad anyhow, and then you know that this guy could go. It's a complete turnaround. I
No,
know
so
people.
it's not Miles I'm complaining about.
Who are you
It's the
complaining about?
fact that we are deprived of the response from his mom. Like we've built up this conversation from the beginning, and we don't get to see the reaction that we have been looking forward to. And it's a switcheroo.
That's your own
Yeah.
selfishness because now it's in a different
No, that's what
universe.
I'm saying. That this
Okay.
particular movie, it should have been one. I will take out this
No,
entire.
you
If I'm
want to see,
cutting,
you want to see Miles come to his parents or like
So
I
you're
want to
looking for
see a
that.
what would
You
yeah?
resolution
want that
of those
closure.
promise.
You said
I
you
want to
take
see a
out something. What
closure.
would you take out?
I
What
want
would
to
you
see a
take out?
closure of the acts promised in the beginning at the end. I will take out the
Okay.
switcheroo that you went to a new place. I would have that confrontation at the end. I will reduce the
Oh, okay.
middle
That
sequences.
they should have
They
just
should
not added it.
finish it. Yes,
Okay,
they should
okay, okay,
finish it
okay.
there and then. You've built up to that particular point. Just finish it. Like it just felt like an unnecessary addition. All these things, you can set it up in a third move, in a third part. Let them go
Okay,
to that
okay. I see what
particular
you're
part.
saying. Okay,
So
okay. That part
yes,
should have been.
because
Okay.
you would have had a complete circle of a story, but now we just have truncated storylines. And for me, it diminished the movie a bit. If we'd completed the story here, Miles goes back, he confronts his parents, he tells them the truth, they resolve that, then he saves his parents, he defeats Spot, fights the spiders or whatever, and we end it there. I think this would have been a perfect movie. But as of now, we are left with half a story that shouldn't be half a story because they just wanted to unnecessarily, for me, it feels unnecessarily elongated into another movie entirely.
Oh, I
And
completely.
I
I'm
understand
struggling.
I understand why
Go
they
on.
did it
Yeah.
because already this is a very long movie. So trying to fit everything they wanted to fit in is going to take time. But still, I think it diminished it a bit because the third act for me, meeting the new Prowler and all of that, I did not like. I was like, we can't be starting an entirely new plot thread at the end of a movie. Save it for the next part or something. It's cool character design, it's cool character work and all of that shit, but this is the end of a movie. End the movie well, and then we can begin anew in a new part. But for me, that's like it's a nitpick, but it's like one of the biggest things that bothered me about the movie.
Okay.
That
What
part,
else bothered you?
yeah.
I
So now,
don't agree.
What else bothered you?
what else bothered me? I've already mentioned it on the action scene was too long, and I loved it, but I felt they could have cut that bit a bit, like the entire escape from the train.
But
It
you
was
asked
long.
me,
Kex has
you asked me,
It was
you asked
long.
me a question.
It was
All
long.
the
Kex has made
fans.
reference to it about it being too easy. That
Okay.
bothered me a bit. Like I know you are good, but all these ones are also good as well, and they've been at it for much longer. We are not giving a good enough explanation as to why they were they were not catching up with you, even if they were going easy on
It
you.
has to be headcanon.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
have to. Yeah.
I do have
you
a
have to
question
reckon
for
on it.
Tunde. I have a question for Tunde though. You asked me a question when I started if I felt the fan service was too much. Did you feel it was too much?
The fan service, no, I love fans. I love this fan service.
So why did you
That's
ask
why.
if it was too much?
No, I because at some point I was forcing to look at every single bit of it and say, oh wow,
Yeah,
this can
yeah.
be overwhelming for people. Me
Okay.
personally, I loved it, but like I wanted to confirm if it was just me loving it and for some other people it might be overwhelming as well.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
I'll say something. I hear your points. I think personally, no, I'm not going to say.
But
I'm not going to say no, 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 no.
but
I'm not going to say this.
I hear
But
you,
I think
but
I do think that some of this would have actually helped Multiverse of Madness even more. And that means actually exploring other multiverses rather than just crashing through them. If Multiverse of Madness had been 2 films, genuinely, and given me
something like
more
this.
of the alternate worlds, of the other worlds, or the other characters from the other worlds, I genuinely think that film would have done better. I think that
But
film would have felt better to me. It felt very packed. It felt very nice. Here you go and go. But if you're telling me that I'm actually going,
that film was not a multiverse film, despite the title.
yeah.
So I think the title was just stupid.
But if you're
view.
telling me that I'm going across the Spider-Verse, you're not just going to show me one. This movie was as much a movie, and I'm not going to shortchange anyone. I genuinely do not know how to edit this movie and make it shorter and still as satisfying. The train sequence was long. I agree. I'd probably take out maybe 60 seconds of that train sequence. But it's as much a Miles movie as it is a Gwen movie. I'm not going to take out Gwen and her dad going through all
oh
that
no, 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 no.
emotional.
I'm not talking about like that part. It's perfect. I'm taking out Prowler, the new Prowler
Oh, today
F42 this thing.
I
I'll put that in a new this thing
I
entirely.
really liked the way it's unraveled that. Oh shit.
The
It
fact
read the
that
DNA of number 42
No.
and sent him
I
to.
think to this point, it's not that the scene doesn't exist, but it doesn't exist in this film. It exists in the second film.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
I like the fact that it was a switcheroo at the end of this film. Because I was like, oh, he made it home. Thank goodness. Like, okay, no matter what, he's home. He can sort it out at home. And then the end just leave him be like, oh shit. He's not actually home. I don't know. It felt like a lot of people did not like the end of the first Lord of the Rings where Frodo and this thing go off. But I thought it was quite apt because I knew it was a trilogy and I knew it wasn't going to end. I don't know. I get you. They could have done it like the end of Matrix 1 instead of Matrix Reloaded. But I don't know, guys. I get you, but I liked the fact that it left me on my seat at the end and I was like, oh, okay. All right, the next one's coming now. But fair
That
play. Fair play.
that being said, I think I would appreciate this movie more when everybody will appreciate this movie more when you watch the third part and you watch
Yes.
it as a whole.
Yeah.
But as a standalone, it's lesser for it, and I don't. That is what I don't like for it because it's going to be more when I watch entire complete series together. That's the issue.
Got you. Okay, but
So,
that's the
yeah.
same. That's the same as Empire Strikes Back. Now, The Empire Strikes Back is a really, 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 really awesome film. But with watching with Return of the Jedi, and it's just like amazing. Well, okay,
Actually, I disagree with that, but let's move on.
that's fine. You're wrong.
Let's move on. Return of the Jedi was a disgrace.
The Ewoks were 1 minute bad, but I mean when you watch,
right.
Sunday will soon tell you guys.
I'm aware that we've got people waiting
waiting
in the green room. Should we start introducing them?
Yeah.
5-minute slots.
Of course.
Let them in.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you want to start with?
So I'm going to start off first with, I think the doc was in first, so I'm gonna get doc in. And
yo.
Hey.
Doc, we can see you, Doc.
Hefty. Oh, look
Doc,
at
what did you think about this film?
Look at his background.
Even his shirts.
Yeah.
Doc, what did you think about this film?
I feel like my background says it all. and the fact that I got, the shirts. I love this film. I loved it so much. Am I coming through okay?
We can hear you. We can hear
you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I loved it. I'm not going to get into all the responses. I will put some of my responses in the chat. But I think just talk about like the film itself. I loved it. It was. I think I've seen it twice. The first time I saw it, I remember I watched it. So it was interesting because the second time I watched it by myself. The first time I watched it with a friend who is not really into Spider-Man, but who had seen the first film. And it was interesting, I think, watching in that way and seeing that, having that experience. And it helped me sort of appreciate, I think, that, maybe not everybody might get into this film. And I really would like to know what other people find with people who are not nerds or into the whole Spider-Man ethos. And I think it affected my enjoyment a bit because I was constantly sort of checking to see like, how are you finding it? When I watched it on my own, it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. Like I really got into it. It was just me and the story. And I talked about not loving the music as much as before, but I picked up on it a bit more this time. I still prefer the music of the first film. I think that music is just unbeaten.
Of course.
But this music was good as well. But like someone said, it was an absolute. I feel like it was better in the way a good sequel can be better. Let me put it that way. It was everything was bigger, bolder, brasher, but better in the way a sequel can be. Although I still would prefer the first film because it was the first. And this is like how do I put it? This is a better version of the first, but it's not the first.
Yeah.
It's not a better version of the best.
I think I'll agree with him actually.
Like I was saying.
Oh, good.
I mean, when I say better, you understand what I mean, though? You understand what I mean?
It's an improvement.
Like, you took everything that was great about the first and improved it. So, in a way, it built on the first.
It's not an improvement of the first. It's a bigger version.
I'm not agreeing with that at all, actually.
Okay.
I think
that's all right.
I think my view was, I said it's a worthy successor, but I don't think it's better. Yeah. Well, anything else, Doc? I mean, the platform's yours.
Well, I suppose the other thing is, you guys always talk about the fact that I'm always about the themes and the heft.
Oh, here we go. Hold on to your seats.
Go for it.
Good.
Who am I to disappoint? One of the things I loved about the first is I feel like it was thematically stronger. But and to Tunde's point, annoyingly for me, I feel like this film was doing. And I mentioned Dune in the chat. I feel like it's very much like a Dune. Like I think Dune, the second half of Dune is going to
That's a good one.
It's going to land all the planes that the first half.
That's a good
lifted.
one. That's a very good one. I agree.
But I feel like this did better than Dune because it actually landed some of the things. For me, the key one being the core conflict of this film is, will Miles find where he belongs? And will Miles and Gwen figure out where they belong? And it turns out the answer is not that they belong together. The answer is that Gwen belongs in a band and Miles belongs with his family. Now, maybe that might not lead to them belonging together when they figured out where they belong in by themselves. But like that core conflict was resolved. But then what I love was it was resolved.
Wait, sorry, come again about the core. I don't like. I know I disagree with you, but I don't know where I disagree with you about on that statement.
You can slip over your disagreements.
Well,
I don't have a lot of time, so let me just explain what I mean. So for me, that was the core conflict of it's about belonging, right? And the first film was about becoming. This one is about belonging. And it's about feeling alone and feeling like you don't fit in. And for Miles, he thought, oh, I'm going to fit in when I find all the Spider-Men that are like me. And then he's like, actually, no. Where I fit in is where I've been all this time. And that's why that whole scene with his mom is core to the film. Like, if anyone says they want to take that film out, that for me just tells me you don't understand this film.
Okay.
That whole scene. But then what was cool was the fact that we don't get to see him actually acting on that, because the minute where you think it's going to happen, then that's pulled out under your rug, which I see why you don't like that. I love that because it was like, oh, yes, make me suffer. Not really, but like it was just like, yeah, it was like it gave you that feeling of, oh, we're getting the resolution, but then it's like, no, not yet.
I loved it.
But it did it in a way that was beautiful and that just artistically executed, that I couldn't feel bad, is all I'm going to say.
Can I put that another way? I think the closure with his family, or him being his family, I think that didn't happen because as we saw, the rug was put out from under him. But what I do think happened was he did find his own team, and that was the people from the first film. So in a way, to me, he found his people.
No, he didn't. He didn't. It was Gwen who found
that.
Him.
Was Gwen. That was Gwen.
Yeah, but
they're gonna find them in the next movie, right?
Those are the people who came for him. Is what I meant.
Yeah.
So we see his team arrive. These are the people who helped him in the first film, know him, and they're from Miles.
So, question.
No, they are not. They are not there because even in the Miguel scene, they showed all of them. Even Penny was in the Miguel scene where they all turned against him and they started chasing him. So
right.
no.
So that's
but
question
they were scared of Miguel.
And Gwen, even Gwen.
Yes.
If I've been honest.
What's his name? Was Nick Cage there?
No,
I didn't see Nick Cage up to the end.
He wasn't.
He was the only one that was missing. And
I did not see Pig Porker as well to the ending.
No, I didn't see my.
Those were
I think the only person that I saw before was the robot guy lady.
Did you see Spider Noir?
No.
That's
what I'm saying. So it was only what's her name? The
Penny.
lady in the Penny. Sorry, it was only Penny.
I wouldn't put that as the call, because the fact that they only showed up at the end even tells you for me.
No, I didn't say that's a call. No, that's a call.
Right.
To me,
his own people, his own
that's
friends.
that's who he belongs to. That's the only thing I could say at that end. The only thing I can conclude is his people have come for him now. Now, part 2, they will get into the mom dad parts and finish that off.
Okay, so
for sure.
So, question, and this is what I wanted to talk about, and when we're talking about spoilers, do you think they're going to be brave enough, or did we see a foreshadowing where Gwen told him there's nowhere in the universe where Spider-Man and Gwen ends up well? That always
honestly, that I don't know, and I'm really, there's a part of me that loves the fact that
you think they can go there.
So I'm conflicted. I like the fact that they were friends in part 1, and I like the fact of like having these two people without making it into like a whole romance thing. And I'm still hoping that
they keep it that way.
They keep it that way. Like, yeah, maybe it could be a romance, but actually, do you know, we're good friends, and not everything has to be all romance.
I don't want the romance.
But
it's not going to end well.
I don't want the romance. I don't want.
So
to
I really don't want it, and I would like for that to be foreshadowing.
See all these
What I
guys
guess I'm
wanting
saying.
Miles
I don't
to remain
know.
innocent.
No, it's not that. But
No,
it's
that's not-
they
it doesn't
belong.
have to be
They are
Gwen.
from.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
Gwen.
my issue is their children. If you're glitching,
Well, I mean, no. Well, I
what,
don't
what
mind
does that mean
children.
for their child? Would he glitch in both,
Forget,
or will he
no,
be?
they don't. It doesn't
glitching
mean
to
they're
both?
going to marry. They're going to date. It doesn't mean they're going to marry. They're kids. Kids
Oh
date.
no,
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, so
But
to
like,
me, what's the point? Gwen Stacy, for me, Gwen Stacy, the whole strategy is he never be with her. If you're saying he's going to be with her, I mean, be with her. Like, it leads to something. Like Mary Jane normally leads to something with Peter Parker. Generally,
I don't even mind. I don't mind Miles finding love. I just would like for it. Doesn't have to be Gwen. It doesn't have to be.
Okay. So
yeah, that's all. But yeah, but I don't know if they would.
Here's a
they
prediction that I hope they don't do. Gwen dies, and he ends up with the black chick that sent him to the alternate universe. The kid that's supposed to press shut down and didn't press shut down.
I'm thinking.
I would like for it to happen without Gwen dying. But thank you very much.
I can't see Gwen dying. I just can't see Gwen dying.
Gwen is too beloved, and I've heard something about they might do a.
She has her own comic as well.
A film for her. Yeah, but I mean, they might even do her own film.
Yeah,
I would watch that 100%.
She's a much loved.
Guys, calm down. That spin-off might not be Lord Miller, and
exactly.
Mickey can die. I don't mind.
It might be Sonny doing the cash grab. So please, I would not. I'm not. Although I see Lord Miller's name on it, Lord and Miller on it, I'm not getting excited for that at all.
Okay, right. Cool. Doc, do you want to put a number against this? Or?
Oh yes, a number, please. No.
Oh, you guys know I hate putting numbers. I would say 9. Or no, it has to be 5, right? I would say 4.5.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Just because I can't put it as high as the first one. I just can't.
Okay. Oh, wait. So your score, your first one is higher than this?
Oh, yes.
But do you not just say this is a better film?
No. You didn't understand what I said.
Oh, okay.
I said it's better in the way a sequel can be better. It's like a good younger brother.
Okay.
But it's still not like
Winter Soldier looking at you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
4.5.
We appreciate your presence as usual and your examination of the hefts of the film
and the themes.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries. Right. Oops. Let me.
Who's next?
Right. So next we're going to bring in. I know Tosin's been waiting very, very patiently. I don't want to bring Tosin into this stream actually because I think it's going to annoy me. But I'll bring him anyway.
Yeah. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello, Tosin.
Yes.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me. So,
right.
Where should I start?
The floor is yours. The floor is yours. Where did you watch it, and what did you feel overall? Let's start with that first.
Okay, so I saw it with 2 of my nephews. One of them 10 years old, the other one 7 years old, and my sister. And I realized one thing. This movie was not made for people like us. I'm not a Spider-Man fan. Well, actually, I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I'm not very steeped into the Spider-Man comics like a lot of you gentlemen are. Plus, I'm not a parent, so the feels were not very feely for me.
Okay.
And so there are a couple of things I recognized because I've saw the Spider-Man cartoons, like the pointing thing. That was fun, right? I knew of the Scarlet Spider because I've sort of heard of it before, but a lot of everything else just went completely over my head. Right. So it felt like, so I think I've come to the conclusion that Across the Spider-Verse was not made with people like me in mind.
So it's a love letter to Spider-Man lovers.
Yes.
So can I ask you a question? You didn't feel that way about the first one?
No.
Right.
The first
That's
one,
interesting. Okay.
no, I really enjoyed the first one. I definitely consider the first one to be a better movie than this one because that one stood on its own. You really didn't need to know much about Spider-Man to enjoy the first movie. This one, there was a lot of shorthand that was based on people knowing stuff about Spider-Man. For
Like,
for example, let's talk about the canon events, right? For the canon events to actually work, you need to know that in Spider-Man canon, somebody very important to him usually dies. And that death is a fundamental part of what makes Spider-Man, inspires him to take more responsibility, the great power comes responsibility thing, right? They didn't really explain that. They just said that there are certain things that are canon, accept it like that, stick. And this guy supposed to die is canon. And you messed up because you interfered with the canon event. But assuming you didn't know that about Spider-Man canon, how would you even get the context of what is supposed to be a canon event or not?
But we don't know that Miguel is right though.
Yeah. So I can see in a way where we who know the comic, we will come to the film from the angle of Miguel, you're talking BS.
Yes, yeah.
But somebody who doesn't know the comics would have to accept
What Miguel is
what
saying.
what we presented to him.
So Tosin is still right, yeah.
So I can see that. To me, it never occurred to me, and now I want to see if we can get views of more people who probably not Spider-Man fans if they felt the same
Tosin
way.
is not right, please. It's not
Okay.
right at all. There's nothing right about what Tosin is saying here.
Oh no! But this wasn't just me.
No, Tosin is speaking from his own perspective and people like him.
This wasn't just me. My sister hated it.
Hated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my 10-year-old nephew
That's the first.
came to me and was like, Uncle Tosin, yeah, he's very thoughtful like that. He's like, Uncle Tosin, okay, they said, never mind. And he comes back to me again. Okay, yeah, you know what? We've already seen it, so it's not a spoiler. I didn't like it. This is a 10-year-old.
Okay.
You know, because
maybe social referencing his mom.
Well, his mom didn't talk to him about it. Because
No, she didn't gush about it either.
No, it's not that she wouldn't. Tosin, respectfully,
yeah,
I've got a kid who is the same age as your younger nephew, who has been begging me since this movie came out to go watch it. And after I watched it, and I came back and I said, I'm not going to take it because you won't understand it. Mm-hmm. It's for kids. I think there's a lot more to understand. There are also some really slow bits. And then there's just some concepts that I think will go way over their heads.
Exactly.
I'm not using 2 hours, 16 minutes of this. Nah.
I'm not using the fact that the kid didn't like it to just the movie.
Of course not.
I'm just saying that it wasn't made for kids. It wasn't made for people who don't know Spider-Man lore.
I agree.
And even with the art, even with the characters, even with all the little glimpses in the background, it's like you're sitting in with some friends who know each other very much. So there are a lot of in-jokes. So you know that there are in-jokes here, but you really just aren't getting it because you don't have the context of a lot of those things.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of that is Ben Reilly. The whole Ben Reilly thing is a long in-joke. Yeah, so I see that.
I saw Ben Reilly. I knew that there was something going on there.
But not quite.
I just had no idea what it was. Like the whole about with me and my amazing musculature. That meant something to some people. But it meant nothing to me.
Yeah. I completely get that. Yeah, it wasn't easily accepted, especially as the first one. nowhere near as accessible as the first one. I'm like, I've been putting it
Yeah,
off. I'm
I have
like,
to
you won't
agree.
like it, you won't like it. But I don't know how to say this is why you won't like it. It's just not for and I'm quite curious because I genuinely would like to go watch a film that has a following that I'm not familiar with, like maybe a Lord of the Rings or a Dune or something. But because a lot of this is in pop culture and it's stuff that I'm quite interested in, I'm like, okay, when I go in, there's some bit of foreknowledge that's already there. But I want to go watch something cold and just see how it is. So there was something else that you mentioned, Tosi, I think when we were having a chat about the spot knowing that Miles was indeed
Oh
was
yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
Yes.
There,
So
there were
that is go on, sorry.
there were a couple of other plot holes.
Yeah.
So, like for example, the Spot knowing that Miles Morales is Spider-Man. How? There was no basis for him to know.
There was
There was
What,
actually.
what was it?
when their mind melded and Spider saw the future. That was when he knew. That was after in the
That's when
Indian
they told,
version.
and that's when they told him he was going to go rip his world apart.
Yeah. So when he saw, that's when Spidey saw the future, saw the past of this guy, and saw the
Yeah.
future of him killing his dad. That was the point where Spots knew who he was.
Okay. But before
Yeah.
that,
Before
why
that, he
did
didn't know.
okay, so yeah, because so a couple of things just seemed a bit rushed. For
No, so
example, the Spot deciding that Miles Morales was his biggest mission in life to destroy.
Well,
Why?
was
yeah,
it rushed? It started. I like the progression for that particular character. It started off as a joke, the character itself, but like when he started giving his backstory, it was one that it was the scientist that brought the spider into this universe. It was the one that created Spider-Man. Like basically, it was the blowing up of the collider. We've
Yeah.
seen weaker reasons for antagonism with Spider-Man, with his villains
Yeah.
before than this.
However, before he decided to make Spider-Man his major problem, he had spent what, a year doing nothing about Spider-Man until this chance encounter when they happened to be stealing an ATM and Spider-Man showed up. All of a sudden, yeah, my biggest problem in my life.
No,
no, it
this was his
no,
first time at robbery. This was his
yeah.
first time actually robbery. He said it.
Remember, there was the trigger for the guy was Spider-Man dismissing him as a nothing. That literally was a trigger. That if that they're fighting was because Miles was being very dismissive of him, and to be honest,
To
we
be
all
honest,
were.
to be
It
honest,
was
this
like,
is go on.
yeah, go on.
Go on. No, you
It-
please, I interrupted you.
we,
Yeah.
we were dismissing him. He was the villain of the. He was the villain of the week, the early villain, and he did not like that. And that was basically his whole motivation as to why. No. I'm not gonna be the villain that you beat in page 2 to go and face the main villain. I am going to be the main villain, and that was kind of the in joke.
So basically, after the arc reactor, the thing exploded, he decided, oh, I created Spider-Man. I am Spider-Man's arch nemesis. And then became his new purpose. That's how he explained why he's the way it is. That was like the only thing he held on to as to as a bit of hope, as a bit of purpose for a situation. And then he confronts the guy, expecting a big battle with his arch nemesis, fulfilling his purpose, and then gets
Yeah.
treated as a joke. That was his trigger. So it was
But
played
but
off as a joke from yeah.
however, you know that you this is sort of you head canoning this.
That was
Oh no, I didn't canon any of this. This was actually said in the film.
that was in the film. Everything there was in the film.
Yeah, like during
Spot even said it. That
when he kicked himself in the butt.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was when they felt. That was when he said all of this in the movie.
He said that because you dismissed me now, I'm going to make you my major problem in this life.
Yeah.
Okay, I must have missed that bit, but it seemed a bit abrupt when I was watching it.
The genuine truth is, and to see, I believe that Spider-Man makes villains or enemies of standard villains. Like
Yes, it
you're
does.
not just beating me, but you're now yapping me and making me feel and look stupid. This is the Parker way. I know he applies to Morales here, but he does this so much. That's why the Vulture hates him so much. Not that you are beating me, but the way you're now saying I'm old. Hey, Tubes, are you wearing your diapers?
All those jokes.
All those
However,
minimizing them.
You're actually making my point.
Yeah.
All this is based on knowing
The
Yeah.
law.
what Spider-Man does.
Okay.
No, that's very true. It's also a canon thing. The film, I think, if I was going to say the film was good, if anything, it was going a lot fast through these things. So people like us who knew things like that, when they say it, we picked up on it and we laughed. Okay, this is what happens in the comic. Maybe they could have made it a bit more obvious, or taking the time to explain it a bit more. I mean, especially in an hour a film that's 2 hours and 16 minutes. You can't say there was not enough time. But I guess, and here's my question: is did the filmmakers do this on purpose? That okay, this film is for people who know the law.
That was the weird thing I found, in that there were certain things that seemed to be rushed. It's just like, oh yeah, you already know this. All right, let's move on. And then other things, they just took forever with them, like the vulture fight, like the conflict between Gwen and her father. And there were certain things as well that are just like, okay, like the bit where Miles goes for that college interview or whatever it is that was, and he got late for. And suddenly that woman just says, your son is lying to you. You're like, okay.
Why do you think that is so out of place?
The woman just declaring that her son is lying to her.
Yeah.
I actually felt that I felt that at least somebody need to tell them that. It's like the parents knew that it was lying.
The parents knew.
They didn't want to accept it.
They just didn't want to accept
They were
it.
in
Yeah.
denial.
Denial.
Yeah.
Because it was blatantly lying. It was so obviously lying.
It was obvious.
It was not even being very good at it.
Yeah.
Yes. But the bit why I felt that felt a little, maybe because it's
she's a guidance counselor at school. She's probably seen loads of students lying to their parents. It's all sorts of stories.
Okay, so now here's where I might agree with Tosin. In the UK, I doubt very much she will put it that way.
Well, but this year,
they will say the same thing.
No. This is a film set in New York.
So
I know.
New Yorkers. So let me ask a question. So
that's what I'm saying from a UK perspective.
Sosin's trying to say something.
So what was she saying he was lying to them about in that context?
She may not know, but she knows he's missing class.
Could be
he's
drugs.
Not available. Could be. She doesn't know what
anything.
it is. I mean,
he's a black kid.
You just say he's lying.
Just like he's lying to you.
She knows he's lying.
He's lying to you about something. She didn't say. She didn't say he's doing.
She wasn't specific. Yeah.
But she knew that there was something,
and
it was obvious.
And she didn't just say he's lying to you. She told him, "You know he's lying to you."
Yeah.
Like face it. Like stop being in denial.
Yeah.
It was pretty much a message to the mom. Stop being in denial.
Enabling this.
You're enabling this. You know this kid is lying to you.
It's like when you want to believe your kid's a good kid.
Yeah.
And you accept things that somewhere in your heart is saying, "Are you sure?"
That's how I read that. That's how I read that bit. I mean, I just
fair enough. But for me, that bit was a bit. It felt a little jarring to me.
She's like Rachel, she's a guidance counselor, so she's seen kids. She sees every day. That is what she does. She sees parents.
Maybe if it had been phrased as he's hiding something, or there's something he's not telling you, that might have been better for me. But he's lying to you because
Kex, what did I say? It's a Brit.
That's a cultural. That's a cultural nuance. Yeah.
Because even as a Brit, I know.
Yeah.
They will phrase it the way Tosin just said.
Yeah.
Tosin is pretty much putting on a corporate. Tosin is pretty much putting on a corporate work environment. I mean, you're not going to tell somebody you work with you're lying, even though you know you're lying. They'll be like, you're going to be like, I would like to verify. I would like to
let me validate.
Let's validate and stuff. You're never going to say lie and things like that. Those are really strong words.
I'm talking about how I experienced this.
Yeah.
for me, that is lying to you jarred.
Okay. So
Right.
we've still got
Go
some
on.
people. Yeah. So no, I actually wanted Tosi to give me his numbers.
That's what I'm gonna say. I said, with all of this, I'm really curious to see his
Oh.
score out of 5.
Oh my score. Okay, my original score has changed slightly because I'm like I said somewhere that I can tell that this is a work of art. It's just not a work of art that was meant for me.
Like it's a Picasso, but everybody likes Picassos.
So
Not everyone is into cubism.
exactly. So, and I might enjoy it better when I have a chance to watch it, where I can pause, rewind, and actually spend a bit more time with it. So my original score was a 2.75, but I will upgrade that to a 3 out of 5.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. So what's that? That's a 6? Is that a 6 over 10?
That's a 6 out of 10.
6.
Okay.
I originally said 5.5.
That's a
But
okay.
I've actually seen a bit of stuff that gives me a bit more context, which helps me understand that part of what was missing for me was that I don't know enough about Spider-Man to appreciate everything that was going on. So it's a bit about the way it was presented and a bit about me. But I realized that this movie was not created with people like me in mind.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, that's fair enough.
I agree.
And
Okay.
you in word play, Tosin is me for when I Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I was in Tosin's shoes. in terms of
I don't want to. Yeah, that one. I don't say anything.
Tosin, thanks for that. We appreciate
Yeah,
you
cheers, guys.
coming on the call. Yeah, nice one.
All right.
Bye.
Say one.
All right then. Bye.
Okay, so who have we got?
So bear with me while I do my very
Where's that
slow.
man, Tunde?
No, Kusel. So we have Kusel Q waiting, and I'm gonna bang him onto the podcast. Well, I thought Tunde disappeared.
He's busy.
I'm still here. I wanted to be polite to Tosin and not attack him too much on the podcast.
You're keeping the part.
I'm trying to be a good guest. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what QCell looks like. I've never seen him before.
Hey, Red.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You guys can hear me, yeah?
Oh, we hear you.
We can hear you clearly. Yes, no problem at all.
Yeah, I said you've joined Bad Gang, and then you went to church, and then your mom removed this studio.
I took it off this morning.
What's up, Q?
I'm good.
So tell us. You have been shouting about this movie. Oh, the colors, the animation. Hey, mommy, mama, don't die, you. I want to do fine arts in school. Oh yeah, tell us. What did you like about this film? I didn't even know.
Honestly, this movie, I don't know, for me, it's like a good love letter of how this should be done. As an animator, an artist, the story writer, the way everything works, the synergy. It baffles me. I really need to go and see it again, probably this week, because it's worth it.
It is. It truly is worth more than one watch. Yeah. If only because I watched the movie and I was sure that I missed at least 20% of some of these. I've not watched a single Easter egg video because I want to see these things.
Same here. I've already seen it.
Okay, so best and worst bits, Q. I want you to tell me best bits.
Funny enough, my favorite bits are the part where the conversations, the one he has with his mom, the one he has with Gwen, Gwen with her father, all those conversations landed. Like I'm not a parent, I'm not anywhere near this. I felt it.
That you know.
Exactly. that anyone has told you about.
Yeah, but see, one thing I should have said that to Tosin as well. Even if you can't see as a parent, surely you can see it as a child. From the other side. I mean, surely you've got a dad, and what's the relationship with your dad and that kind of, or your mom. Let's just say because it's both mom and dad.
There are a lot of movies that do this teenage rebelling against the parents thing, and it doesn't land. But somehow this one, landed was in the right middle of the parents being strict and being lenient. It was in the middle of him being rebellious and him being obedient. It was just there. It was balanced, and they delivered
Exactly.
it well for me. Then Gwen's zone came back full circle and completed, and Miles' zone was, we all thought it was coming back full circle, and then oops, they ruined.
And you make such a good point, Q, because there is something that, and I think it's partly because we know the kid is good. We know the extremes he goes to, goes to for other people and the people that he loves. Like, look at the cake when he got the cake and the
Yeah,
effort. And
Oh,
every time
yes,
he tried getting home quickly to dad, one idiot villain would just stand in the middle of this thing and be like, oh shit.
yeah,
At one point I was like, you know what? Just go home. It's
yeah, yeah,
okay. Get the cakes home. Your dad is making a speech. It's your dad's big day, and,
Yeah.
and we saw how that ended. But
yeah.
okay. Yeah, so
But
you were saying.
all those conversation bits really hit, and I'm like, this is how you do it. It just felt like it works. It just worked so well. I need to rewatch it so I can place my hand on why it works and then understand it. Like, this is a movie I need to study, like every aspect of it. I know I'm going to do that once I get the Blu-ray or iSeries, anyone.
Is I think genuinely, I think this is worth Blu-ray
Yeah,
just for the extras.
yeah. And I can't wait for the art book.
It's oh gosh, yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
true. Let's try this by
I was looking for artwork as well when I was watching it. Like somebody mentioned already, the sitting upside down scenes.
Yeah,
But there was one particular scene where four Spider-Men and they had a kind of mid-air pose. I always like squealed in the cinema at that scene. It was excellent. It's quite good.
Yeah. Okay, what you didn't like, Q? Was there anything that you were like, this could have been better?
generally, no. I can't find any faults in the movie. I know the story is
No, I get you.
going on because we know, okay, it's probably BS, but we can call that as BS majorly. But for me, I can't find any fault, anything on it. I get what Tunde was saying about this movie. Not basically, this movie doesn't conclude for me. They rounded up some arcs like Gwen's arc, a few here, then Miles' personal conflict with, okay, am I going out or am I staying home? They rounded those up, but the whole main conflict of the canon event and everything, they didn't round that up. Unlike, say, Infinity War, you can watch Infinity War without ending, and it's an ending. You can ignore it. They lost.
True.
So you
And
agree?
it's an ending.
Did you like that or you didn't like it? Do you agree with them?
Personally, I liked it. It's a risk
Okay.
they took, and I like
Okay.
it that it paid off because the shock value hits me. I was like, they had us in the first half.
Yeah.
I was buying it. Like, yes, tell this woman, and then it goes Spider-Man. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
No, don't do this. So I love that he did.
The funny thing is, I was like, madam, how can you say you've never heard of Spider-Man?
Same here.
Doesn't your
Same
husband
here.
talk about him?
Yeah,
Are you
exactly.
saying, this is a stupid job?
Yeah,
And
I
then
thought it was like just a maybe a disconnect. She doesn't know his name. is
Exactly.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wait.
When he glitched, everybody is going, oh, of course, wrong universe.
that is why I like that bit.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that bit.
They
One
had
that
us.
scanned the 42 DNA and sent it to
Even-
that.
Even when she mentioned something about
His hair, yeah.
his hair.
Yeah,
I was
like, what happened? Has it been gone for long?
So I was looking at the hair. I was thinking, what did I miss?
So question
There was
for
actually
Dark
one
Ball. Go ahead, Q.
There was
Go ahead.
one line mother said when he mentioned the father, and she said like, "I do enough trying to take care of you both," or something like that. And that's when it clicked for me that I think he's in the wrong place.
Okay.
Said something along that line.
So you clicked before the glitch.
Yeah, I clicked before the glitch.
Oh,
That
okay, no.
the wrong
It was a
place.
glitch. For me, it was a glitch. I did it.
So Dark Ball, question for you as the time travel and multiversal expert. Is it so the whole multiversal concept, is it that there is no vacuum? There has to be like for like. So right now,
that's
because
bullshit. Yeah, go on. Carry on.
is the Prowler a Prowler because the spider went to the wrong universe, or
No.
Okay.
See, the whole idea of multiverse is anything can happen anywhere. I mean, we saw a dinosaur, Spider-Man.
yeah, okay.
You know, So yes, there'll be universes with prowlers, there'll be universes without prowlers.
Okay.
We know the universes where a captain doesn't have to die. All that is just,
Okay.
you know, I hope that part 3 will come out and say that Miguel will start talking through his,
Okay.
I hope.
his bottle.
Uh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah, go on, sorry,
actually
no,
not sure on
go
that
on. Yeah,
part.
yeah, go
I
on. Yeah,
know,
go on.
yeah, I know what Miguel is saying is BS completely,
Yeah.
but I'm not 100% sure I want to be BS because I think it will have more narrative weight if it's true and there's
Or if
that
there's
sacrifice that has to be made.
if there's some truth to it. He may be wrong about who,
Yes,
but
yeah, but if there's some truth that you need to either sacrifice this thing or you lose the entire world, I think that
So
sacrifice is at the
I,
core of who the characters are.
I
One
want
thing
to
that clicked
ask
for
So my
me,
issue. Sorry, go on. Sorry, Kosa, you go. You go,
no,
Q.
one thing that clicked for me that I feel like they are not going to go that it's BS, that it's actually a thing, because it clicked for me when Gwen came back to her father and her father said he quits the force. And I was like, wait, does that mean he doesn't die because he's no longer the captain?
yeah, he could
Is
because
that,
he
is
doesn't
that
die because he
basically a
quit. Yeah,
foreshadowing that, okay, Miles, your father can take this route and not become the captain and he survives? I feel like they may go that route.
yeah.
I feel like this is a
and
Well, he
foreshadowing.
is going to be a captain. He has to.
no, he's
Yeah, I
not.
mean, yeah, but it may be a thing. He
Okay.
may have to make that
And
sacrifice now, so he
Uh,
doesn't.
Yeah, and
how is okay?
I don't know how
and
they will sell it, but I feel like it's an angle they may go. I
Okay.
hope it's not that we
what
just establish.
happens if Jessica Drew or if Miguel gets someone to kill
Uh,
To kill who?
Miles'
uh,
dad?
They won't go that far. They won't go
Uh,
that far.
I don't think you're good enough. The one thing I was
because that would then make Miguel completely a bad guy and not just a
Yeah.
misunderstood hero.
Because no, but he wants the canon event to happen, and it believes
yeah,
the captain has
is
to
it,
die.
So he wants to cause the canon event now.
It doesn't
and
matter
that's
who
my
No,
issue.
causes
it doesn't want to cause it.
No, no,
It
no, no,
doesn't
no,
want
no,
to
it. Want
stop
to
it.
no, no,
stop
no.
it doesn't want
No,
to
no,
stop
no.
it yet.
I know he doesn't want to stop it, but is Red saying that he now wants to cause it in part
To make it happen. I'm just throwing it out
Yeah,
there.
I
it
know.
may,
Yeah,
it may be,
I
it may
think
be an angle.
I don't think this. I don't want them to make him a out and out bad guy.
Yeah.
Just a man whose mind is broke. I can take.
Yeah, I don't
Or it
think.
could be. It might be broken enough.
I
to
don't.
think.
Well, Miguel is an angry person, but I don't think
You go that far.
they will go that far. But I haven't. If they try to make this canon, I'll know 100% now. It will remove almost a whole point for me for the whole both movies,
Yeah.
because there's so many things outside of canon, sorry, outside of the film that will go against that fact.
So I also want to ask something here.
Yep.
So I want to understand the exact sequence of events. So Miguel loses his family in his world.
Yeah.
And then he finds another world where
Yep.
the Miguel in that world has a family but is dead.
Yes.
So he goes to that world to
Yeah.
take
And
that
takes-
Miguel's
Takes that
family
Miguel's place.
and
Yeah.
take his place in that
Yes.
world. So he's an anomaly in that world. He shouldn't
Yes,
be in
correct.
that world in the
Yes,
first place.
yes.
Yeah.
Correct,
So
correct.
how is this idiot not thinking that am I perhaps the one who is
one that
causing
So yeah. So no, but correlation
No,
is
but that world
is
got
not necessary.
destroyed.
causality? Yes.
Yeah. So correlation is not necessarily causation, right? So
Yes.
but he's thinking that is. I'm thinking at some point they're going to let us know. It's not what he's thinking is the cause is not the cause.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Because
100%.
I'm just trying to say is that his thinking? Is that
Oh,
the reason
that's
why?
his thinking. He said he
Then-
did everything, but he still died.
Then it's already been telegraphed. You went somewhere you did not belong, and something happened there, and
Yeah.
you're now saying that you're not thinking that perhaps I caused this. You went there. You weren't supposed to be there.
Exactly. So he's
This-
the anomaly in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
No, there is a difference.
Okay.
The world was wiped away. It wasn't as if it destroyed the world. Like you could see the world. If you remember Crisis on the
Yeah,
no,
Billion
that
Dollar,
was
it
but that was the visualization of it. I don't know if that's exactly.
no, that's
what-
probably
No,
what
that's what I said. I
happened.
said the world got wiped
Yeah.
away. That there was nothing he could do. Yeah.
I-
Yeah, but the point is that he was the anomaly in that world.
But he should have been there.
He
Okay.
kept thinking it was his actions of giving the children a father that caused it.
Exactly. But
I think it's
you're
him
the
being in
virus.
that world exactly that was the problem.
Now, and I want to bring some comic book side lore into this. I just asked something because in the comic books, as we kind of know, the Spider-Man thing is more of a magical totem as opposed to like actual science, right?
Okay.
Every world needs to have a Spider-Man, so it will choose someone almost. The web
Yeah.
will choose someone in that world. So, do you think it's something that they could perhaps introduce in the third one? That we have, for fuck's sake, we have a dinosaur.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
a spider. That's a spider dinosaur, right? So I don't know how there wasn't any irradiated Spider,
Well,
or maybe
Spider.
there was maybe a meteor fell from the sky
There's a,
that
there's,
was
there's a
radiated.
Lego. There's a Lego Spider.
There's a Lego one. So I wonder if they're going to go into the whole, web of, I don't know, Madam Web.
I think to be honest, I think they might do that, and it also might in my mind make Miguel more wrong because Miguel, like, there's spider totems. So you call them totems. That's what you call spider totems.
Yeah.
Many of these universes have more than one Spider-Man, and this is something
Yeah.
that Miguel's not even taken into account.
Yeah.
Some universes have up to 3. I mean, 616 at the moment has 3 native ones, not even counting Mouse. So that's what I'm saying.
Or the girl Arachne, or what's her name? The one that this girl is understudying.
Silk.
Yeah, but she hasn't got any
Not
powers.
Silk, not Cindy. The one
but
that
I know you're talking about, but she hasn't got any real powers.
the South American girl.
Yeah, she didn't have any real powers.
I think she does. I'll check.
Okay, we'll check.
Yeah.
But so that's even with her. That's 4. So it kind of, I think it's totally poo-poo. Now, if the film decides that, to me, in my mind, Spider-Man has to, and even this is not 100%. Spider-Man should have a triggering event, an uncle dying. You don't have to have both, an uncle and a captain. Which is what he's trying to. Gwen's already had her trigger event with Peter dying in her hands. Miles had his uncle dying in his hand. You don't necessarily have to have both. Yeah. In the comic, Gwen doesn't have both. Now, if she has it here, I wonder when they're now going to change the comics. To give her a captain dying.
Yeah.
The captain dying one just seems so
random.
It's a reach. Yeah. It's a reach for me.
Okay. Q, what is your rating for this one, please?
For me, it's a 5. I can come down to 4.5 and say that when I see the third movie, and if the third movie really lands and makes the same.
Give me 6 out of 5. Okay, right. So one more question: billion, no billion. What is your box office take? And first,
I would love for it to get to 1 billion, but I don't just think an animation can do that much.
Yeah,
I'd love for it to, but I'm not so sure an animation can get to that.
Super Mario say what?
Oh, we know my Mario did that.
Okay, okay. So what number would you think is okay?
700.
Okay.
700 is good.
Okay. 700 sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Q.
Thank you very much, Q.
Lovely to have you, bro. Nice one.
Nice having you.
All right, later. Right.
We got one more very, very, very patient.
Very, very patient.
Yes.
Very,
and
very,
he's
patient.
a return good.
Hello.
Oluwale, what's up, my G?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, we're golden, man. We're golden.
Awesome.
Good to have you, buddy.
Same here. I'm happy to be here. Tunde, awesome review as always.
What did you say?
I said Tunde, awesome review as always.
What's awesome with you?
I just said it on purpose because I like the fact that he brings balance to the things, But it was great.
Balance is not
so you like Thanos like people. He's Thanos, so you say you like it.
No. I like the fact that sometimes even when things are all great, there's always room for something to be better, and it's always good to have that. I think that's me. Maybe because I'm a critic by nature of some sort, so I can resonate with that aspect of things.
Just say you like that the guy's always hating, even when things
No.
Okay, good.
People that appreciate quality.
Okay, so tell us, Olu, how was it?
Honestly, I liked the movie. One of the things I did before, I don't give out love like that. So one of the things I did, compared to other movies that I've watched, was I made sure I didn't listen to any review. I didn't listen to anybody before going to watch this. And fortunately, I just watched the movie again, the first one, before I came to watch the second one, so it became like fresh in my mind. So when I went in, it was like, oh, okay, good. There was like a flow. It was like the week before. Then I watched it on Thursday when it came out here, like
so it was easy for me to flow into it. I mean, I really liked the movie. The things I liked about the movie beyond the story was like, I mean, I like the technical aspects of things. Like the beginning, once I saw Gwen drumming,
Yeah,
immediately
yeah.
my mind went to the arcane scene
It's beautiful.
when
It
what's his
was,
name?
I think,
What's her name again? Yeah,
Vi.
one guy
Yeah.
was like a fump trying to figure out the
I
whatever.
they
She was trying to
they
figure, and the music was going on, and she was just going and everything. I was like, this is the arcane scene, but with drums.
Okay, yeah,
My,
yeah,
my
yeah,
mind linked it, like I was like,
so
oh,
arcane,
I could
I
so
didn't
see.
even
arcane.
I didn't even remember Arcane at all. But now that you
Oh, I
mention
did,
it,
especially at the starts.
I didn't connect it. No.
Oh no, yeah.
And
If you see
because
that
one
part,
thing that helped as well, same
No, but
voice,
now that you're mentioning it, I can see
yeah,
it. But
yeah,
and
in the
same
the
voice
moment, I didn't see it.
actors. So you
yeah, the arcane influence was just very heavy.
strong.
And if you notice, after she's finished and she stopped, remember when like they interrupted Vi, and she was just, the same kind of flow to things. Like she was just like, "Oh, why did you stop me?" Okay, and she just bolted out. It felt that same way for me. So for me, as I saw it from that beginning, I was like, "This is gonna be good." Um, and like the movie just felt like Gwen's story and Miles'
Yeah,
story
yeah,
at the same time. So
I
for me,
loved
that
it.
was just that was
Yeah,
really great.
I see.
Another aspect I liked were the camera angles. That switch of Gwen going from walking and going under the gargoyle, and it was
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
that thing,
yeah,
for people
yeah,
who know about
yeah,
animation using Blender and stuff, like moving the source of light and just tilting the camera
yeah,
angle, that stuff, it's let me not say simple. It looks like an easy thing, but the way they made it not feel awkward and the way they had the camera tracking the character of Miles and Gwen as they went and they switched it, and by the time they went, both of them were under, it now fell back into like the right perspective was meant
yeah.
to
yeah.
have. It was just so brilliant, just
It was.
little things.
Even
Um,
when they got to Nueva York, where
yeah,
Miguel is, when they go up the elevator, they are
yeah,
upside down,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
yeah,
when they
yeah,
start
yeah, yeah,
walking
yeah,
in there,
yeah, yeah,
they're
Like
on the
it,
ceiling, and I
like
couldn't
they,
tell until it was like Gwen's hair is upside
yeah,
down. Like Apollo's hair
like
was falling. I was like,
like
oh,
like those things are just like, man, this is just
so fucking
technically
good.
sound.
Yeah,
One of the things that when I started the movie, I forgot to say that at the beginning. I'm like, if anyone is epileptic, avoid this movie
I
because
agree. I
you're
agree.
going,
I
those
agree.
color switches is a lot.
I thought they were too much, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Especially at the start, I thought it was like, if for someone who is, like you said, epileptic or
epileptic.
this, I was like, this
That's
is
a lot of
nuts.
feedback. That's a lot of mental
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
from the opening sequence, that person
yeah,
just no, the person just probably
yeah,
gonna go into it's just gonna go into shock. This one was,
yeah.
I like the tastefulness of the colors that they used, especially when it went between scenes. Like, when Miles was at school, Miles was in his room. There were like slight color shifts you could see, like whosoever like painted it put some thought into it. Also, if you notice the shade of the mom in the first movie and this one, there was a slight variance. It showed like I see like they used a little bit more light um
Oh, I didn't notice that.
on like I like honestly maybe it's because I have a little understanding of how you use like stuff like Blender and Maya to
Mhm.
do some of these things. You can appreciate like when they put the light on something, how it just changes everything.
The
It
shade
was
and the
just
hue. Yeah,
very, very beautiful. And it's also good to know that they kept it consistent from the first one, that they had people who understood how to do um black like this black
yes,
skin. That was
yes,
also something that in
yes,
Arcane people were very happy about. That
yes.
when they saw the what it was in Arcane,
The magistrate's lady. Yeah,
the magistrate lady, that they got it,
yeah,
because it could have been a hit or miss.
yeah,
And all, I mean,
yeah.
it was just good.
Even the hair, from
Even
his
yes,
dad's short hair, African hair, and then his mom's Latina hair, and his hair, which is almost a blend of the two.
yeah.
I was like, oh gosh,
No,
this
it
is
was good. You could see the tells, like the
fucking
party.
amazing.
Anyone who knows anything about Hispanic culture, that rooftop party is them.
Yeah.
Like if you live beside an
Oh yeah, yeah,
Hispanic
yeah,
person,
yeah.
one of the things you're going to be having is noise complaints because they party every day. It's like they're loud music, just drinking. I know you could hear even in like also one of the things I feel like if you go to a cinema with bad audio, Like if the mix is not good in the cinema, you're gonna miss a lot of the nuances, which was something I think after I watched the movie, I saw online. Some people were like the mix.
There were some complaints about the audio.
Some complaints about the audio mix. There are some things that were muffled, so you could miss some things. The cinema I went to, because I told you guys from the last review that I was looking for cinemas to watch The Flash, because I just since IMAX is too far from me. I'm not going to drive 40 miles for IMAX. It's not that serious.
Where are you?
I'm in Austin, Texas, the San Marcos area.
Okay.
So because everything is far.
There's no IMAX in Austin.
Yeah, none. No, there is, but it's kind of actually it's in Houston. I'm not going to drive 2.5 hours to watch one movie and drive back.
No, so there's no IMAX.
Run back. No, watch Flash and you feel like we can run back home. Be like,
no, there's an IMAX in Austin. There's an IMAX in Austin because I know that because when they did the what do you call it? The premiere of Air. Okay. It was in Austin, Texas. They did everything here. There is, but where I'm staying right now is in the San Marcos area.
So we're in the middle.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. So I'm in between like San Antonio and Austin. So it's like end to end. The one that is in San Antonio is about 20 miles away. The other one is I'm just like, yeah, it's
probably have one closer to you in Mexico than in Austin.
Yeah. So I found one cinema very nice. I like their speaker setup. I know the speaker, so it kind of gave me like all those when the party was going on, you could hear all the Hispanic lingo going on in the background. Yeah. So it was just so good.
As weird as this sound, I love the holdover from the first one where they don't translate the Spanish.
Yeah,
when she's
nobody needs that. Nobody needs that, man. Nobody needs all that. It was just quick. If you don't know it, you don't know.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah, that's how they speak. Sometimes you'll be there and they'll be speaking and you won't get it. But that's fine.
The way they speak Spanish is so expressive. You can
almost
intuit.
Yeah. You could tell what they were saying.
It's the same way I would tell my kid that shut again or you and I'll speak English again after and he gets the context. Yeah. But
it was so good. I mean, when the Indian Spidey came on, I was just like, this is the guy.
So amazing.
Yeah, I loved it.
The guy perfect. This is the guy. I loved I loved all the entries of the Spideys and but his own just stood out. Also, there was something. I think there was something they left kind of open when they were talking about Obi, and they were like, "You haven't told him, so nobody knows whether Gwen and Obi were dating or it was just a work." So they left that open.
I'll be shocked if they were not.
So they left that open.
She has a type.
Yeah. So so they left that open, and Miles was probably so head over heels with her that he didn't even click in his mind or anything. So that one is there.
Gwen and Obi end up together. Miles and the black chick end up together.
What black chick?
The avatar, the VR girl.
He doesn't know what it looks like in real life. It might be catfished.
Yeah, they did show what she looks like in real life.
Did they show him?
They didn't show him. They showed us. That's true. But
they showed him. They showed him.
She told him, but he didn't see what she.
No, she told him. She showed him the screen of her.
No.
Oh, I think so.
No, they showed us.
Today watched it today.
I
think you might have watched it.
Yeah.
But something clicked to me today. That's just funny. Today, Apple launched the what do you call it? The VR. No. There's something. I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere. Apple launched today the VR headset.
Yeah.
And they had a collaboration with Disney. Also, then her Spidey character is basically using the same technology that Apple showed today.
Oh, shit! Was it the same headset?
Same headset. Yeah. Same headset. So I was like, man, look at these people.
When I was watching, when I was watching WWDC and Disney came on, I said to myself, "Oh, these guys are going to start merging content together." And they kind of hinted at it.
That Disney and Apple have this thing going on.
On a side note, Disney stock reacted positively.
Yep, it has to.
Of course.
Of course. It doesn't matter whether it's Sony. It doesn't need Sony. They need their money. So
go on.
So that part, yes.
No, I just want to say something again. One thing I liked is the different. Almost every Spider-Man or Spider-Person had a different version of how they did their webbing, and I like
Yeah.
I like that. You know, the
Oh, I
different.
didn't catch that,
Okay,
Oh,
but
it
okay,
was
so there's a question I want to ask though.
yep.
So Gwen and Miles had the same
Type yeah. Web
web
shooters yeah
type.
yeah.
Will you count that as an inconsistency because they're from two different places? Except they were
I
sharing it in the HQ though. I don't know.
see. I wouldn't. And why I'm even pausing now is I can't remember from Canon how Gwen got her web shooters. But I think everybody who uses web shooters, like the standard web shooters, probably would look the same. Then you got certain people like the Indian Spider-Man who had his own separate style. You had Miguel who had his own. So I think they're the unusual ones. But I think generically the Miles type and the Peter Parker type would be the most common type.
Okay.
I automatically, anytime I see webbing, I automatically headcanon it because it's the one thing that doesn't make sense to me. That all of them are geniuses enough, including the horse, to somehow have either
Create web
biological
stuff.
web shooters
Yeah.
or
I
create
mean,
the formula. So my mind just always just slides over it like, oh, I don't
do you know the head canon I've had about webbing before?
Well, yeah.
And I've had this head canon since I was like almost young.
Okay.
I've always said
That
the spider pipe.
knowledge gives him the knowledge
Yeah,
to create it.
for those who can't create organically, the information was passed to
It's
them.
passed on.
well, that's
They
possible.
create
I mean,
it,
that's a very logical
that
way to
helps.
look at it.
That helps. Yeah, that helps because otherwise I'm like, okay. What did you like about this, Oli?
So if I say what I didn't like about the movie, first of all, I don't hate it.
Oh no,
The chase, I looked at it like, how, really? He just got through everybody?
Yeah.
No. Like, first of all, because if you look at Spidey's, all of them are brute strength people.
Yeah.
And the mere fact that everybody, if I remember, everybody was in dread of Miguel.
I would actually say they are more agility than strength, but I get you.
But everybody, and the mere fact that
Yeah.
everybody was kind of scared of Miguel to a degree, they won't come at attacking Miles half-assedly. They will come with, I don't want this guy's problem at all. So, there's that part. And there's a part whereby you could feel the length of the movie subtly. It wasn't wasn't like in your, you could feel the length. By the time it was getting to the end, I was like, man, I've been here a minute. So you could feel the length of the movie. Fortunately, I didn't go watch it at 10. So I really didn't get that, it's already 1 o'clock, in the morning kind of feel. So you could feel the length of the movie. Apart from that, I really, there was some part. Now, okay, yes, I just remember this part. Now, when Miles got into the wrong Earth,
yes,
and he saw that his uncle was alive,
yes,
I feel that he should have clocked because you should, and it was just too very. And again, he
clocked what?
That he was in the wrong Earth.
No, he knew he was in the wrong Earth.
Yeah, he already knew.
Yeah, but he just went along hugging someone else's mother. He was happy. But then a question I'll ask is,
yes,
does Spidey sense dull around relations?
Okay.
He should have sensed it.
He should have sensed it because he just knocked him out. I was like, I know Buzz, nothing.
Might I say something? I want to say something. Just a quick one. Now, another complaint that I forgot about in this film is Spidey sense doesn't work.
It works.
Well, in canon. So
for
in
a lot of
when
them,
it wants to
wait,
work.
let me finish. Yeah. Let me finish. For a lot of them, Spidey sense does not work in this film. They get hit loads of times, and I'm like, is your Spidey sense not working? Yeah. And I don't mean by other spider people, but just in general.
Okay.
But however, to Olu's point, he got punched by the Prowler, right?
Yeah.
So he got punched by himself in another. His Spidey sense might not actually be able to differentiate between him and him in
I think it's
it's
danger, not.
It's supposed to be
danger, but it's the same way. But it's the same way. It doesn't read against Venom.
It's not true. Even Kane and Peter Parker, the spider says that don't trigger each other.
I say Venom. It doesn't pick Venom anymore.
Yeah. So there are people
doesn't pick Carnage
for whatever reason. I remember Kane was the first one. He can't There's no danger sense when Kane attacks him. Now, what I don't remember is Ben Reilly. Whether that also applies to Ben Reilly, that I can't remember. And Kex said Venom. Yeah, that Venom's very true.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I mean, anyways, that won't even be their fault because they might just be going along the comic route. So there's really nothing them changing it now. And but this is now where I'll counter that. Remember, anytime they come around each other, then all of a sudden the head starts buzzing like they just know. So that excuse of him being around himself and it not buzzing, that's
spider people.
That's
spider people.
Yeah. It's a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that part just felt like
there was
you should have picked up.
You should have picked up, but then again, there was also a part during his fight with Spot at the beginning.
Yes,
whereby Spot clocked him. Spot clocked him. He didn't. It's like I don't know if there was parts that his mind would buzz, then it should just go off at some parts. I'm like,
not just Vulture versus Spider people. I was like,
they were just getting clocked. It's not like his Spidey sense should be auto dodge or something, but I'm just like, it just didn't.
It wasn't consistent.
Wasn't consistent. So that part, for me, was just a little bit. It wasn't. It's not like oh my god, but I just noticed that it was just a little bit out of it. Let me see. What other part do I have? I really didn't have an issue with any other part. I think the colors and everything was just, and the camera angles and the animation for me was just so good. The Spot, I liked how they treated it. I'll just say if there's any moral lesson to take from this movie is don't trust a 15-year-old with world responsibility.
You know what? This led me to a question. If you were a 15-year-old that got the powers, would you tell your parents? I'll start with today. Would you tell your parents?
If I was a 15-year-old that had spider powers,
that had the spider powers, and maybe you have the sense of responsibility to go and help people.
Okay, that's a good point. I don't have that sense of responsibility.
Yeah, assuming. I see your face now.
I mean, at that age, everybody likes keeping secret, and this is like the ultimate escape.
Okay, so
no.
Okay, Red.
My Niger parents, no.
Straight to church. Time to cast out the web.
Exactly.
I think for me, it just depends on the kind of relationship you have with your parents.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: I won't tell my dad. I probably tell my mom.
Okay. That what would you?
By default, no.
Okay.
But I'll add a caveat to that.
Okay.
When it gets to certain scenarios where I'm being caught, that something's really I'm in danger, all that kind of stuff, I would tell them.
Yeah.
So initially, I will be going around doing my fanboy thing with it. But if I'm starting missing school, missing parties, or I've missed my jam entry, and if you where did you go? At some point, I'll tell her. Like this
it's a really good excuse. I mean, it's a better excuse than what you come up with.
I mean, tell you the Nigerian parent that you're a Spider-Man, they're like,
I genuinely, I wouldn't, and I say that
I would love to see. I would love to see a Nigerian version of that scenario.
Oh boy.
Where a Nigerian parent finds out that his son is Spider-Man and he's going out there fighting people.
Yeah. Defense mode instantly.
Yeah.
Don't let it go out again.
It's not just a Nigerian parent. And this is I asked that to say this, that I wouldn't tell my parents.
Yeah.
But and as a parent, if my child told me that, I would not allow him to go crime fighting.
No, of course not. Yes,
because I'm not a crazy person.
You won't allow him go crime fighting, and all of you were hitting on Parkent when he was saying his own story in Man of Steel. But let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Yeah, that's not crime fighting.
That is just pure evil.
Clark's level of invulnerability is not at.
It was a kid. But let's not go there.
He said, "Let them die."
Let the bodies pile.
Okay. Today, to answer your question, if my son, and I know he's Spider-Man, and there's somebody drowning, and I know you can save him, I'll let him do that.
Of course.
If your son is Spider-Man and you know there's a villain that is killing people outside, they're shooting machine gun, you say, okay, so I'm going to fight that villain.
I didn't say that. No, I think
but
that's
they are
But
different
There was
kinds
no,
of threats.
it was a car
I'm
accident
just
to me.
saying. I'm
It
not.
was
I'm
it
just
was
saying.
on the road. There was nobody
Mm-mm.
killing anyone.
There's
It's fine.
different
It
levels
is
of
fine.
threats. Okay. Anyway, so I said that to say that I understand Miles's reluctance to tell his parents
oh
about
yeah,
his secret identity.
Well, but
Yeah.
I feel like, even with the reluctance, I feel like the relationship he had with his mom,
Yes.
especially, which for me, when I saw that if there was anybody who was
Okay.
going to tell,
Yes.
it was his mom.
Yes.
First.
We are
Because
all rooting for him to tell his
his
mother.
mom, the
But-
father, not so much.
But
Yeah,
still,
so
she
can-
would
go on.
she green light her son going into a literal life or death situation?
Never.
It's hard.
She
Can-
won't.
It's hard. It's
Can I make a
difficult.
point? Can I make a point here?
Only child.
You guys are
Difficult.
saying you guys are saying the mom would have been told first. This guy already had a relationship with the father as Spider-Man.
Yes.
To me, that was
He
the
was-
easiest. That was the easier ask. He
But
and I can't remember what his dad's name is. His first
Jeff?
name. Was
I
it
don't
Jeff?
think it was
Jeff,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Was it
Jeff, yeah,
Okay,
Jeff.
yeah.
Okay, my bad.
He
Sorry.
and Jeff had and built a real cordial relationship, and I think at one point he almost,
He almost,
almost
yeah,
about to say
I
it.
felt he wanted to. I love you.
but he put back. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he put back.
I love you,
You
officer.
know, I mean, it was just so good.
Anyway, okay, so that was it. So, Olu, did you rate this?
Oh no.
Did you give us your rating?
I
Yeah.
think I'll just keep it at 4.35.
4.25.
3.5.
3.5. Okay.
I would have given it a 4.5, but then I don't know why I'm holding out the 0.5.
No, that's fine.
I don't know why. I like it. It's not better than the first one.
Okay.
The first one was more fluid and a more
Yeah.
complete story.
Yeah.
I already knew that they were not going to finish this movie
Yeah.
from the beginning of the movie, that there's no way they're finishing this movie here. The mere fact that Spark didn't even show for a lot of parts, you could tell that this movie is not ending. Because
Yeah, but they already said it before we even went into this film.
No,
Why are
but
we
like-
now riding on this film.
I don't, exactly.
doing
I'm
this.
writing on it because it should have ended.
no,
You could,
see,
you could end the film and still continue in another part.
the funny thing is, like, if they didn't even make Across the Spider-Verse, you won't even, nobody would have had a problem with it, because when they ended one, if they
Oh,
stopped there,
Yeah.
you go on with life. This one, once you saw the two, actually, so I thought something very illegal. I was like, I hope Fast and Furious hasn't touched these people, because those ones, I'll not even say anything about them. I'll not say anything about them, because the endings have a very, 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 very similar rubbish going on there. But we'll not talk about that movie. That one is just short.
Yeah.
They're thinking of time travel now, anyway. So you guys
Let
know.
me. I want to say one last thing before we kind of round this bit up. For me, and then everybody can give their last points. One bit that I found laugh out loud funny was when he was as Spider-Man having a conversation with his dad, and his dad was unbearing his soul, and he was like, "Well, if you gave him some room, maybe don't ride him so hard." Like that bit, and the way he's like doing like.
Yeah,
From
like
an
with
independent
his
observer,
with his
like,
shoulder up.
I was like, oh my god.
And it came full circle again, because that was the conclusion his dad came to at the end.
Killed me. Yeah.
And when they do the review, I really wish it's not just that one of the parents works it out himself rather than him
my god.
Telling them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be painful. That would be painful.
More-
But I hope
more-
they're proud of it. Either way, they'll be proud of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
because I always wish that if I was talking to my son who is in a costume, that I would have at some point I'll kind of like,
No, that this is this guy, man.
you know,
Yeah.
sometimes even the way you move your body, the way you
Yes.
move, the way
Yes.
inflection can give you away.
True though.
Yeah, that's just comic convenience. 'Cause it's not.
Yeah.
It's,
True.
it's not just
Yeah.
it's not just the voice.
Yeah, it's comic
Yeah.
convenience.
I feel
It's
there's
comic
somebody we're not even really mentioning in this movie, and May.
convenience.
Aunt May.
She moved
Yeah,
to Florida.
she moved,
What's that
didn't
you
she?
mentioned?
She moved. I mean, no, she was there. No, when they went back.
Yeah,
Was that May?
they
They showed her now. That's
Yeah,
the house
she- she-
everybody.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
house. Yeah. The
Yeah.
That's her
base.
house, but she moved to Florida.
Yeah.
She moved to Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody got any last points? Any last bits?
For me, Doc Ayomide said something, and I think I really like that. The first movie was about becoming. This movie is about belonging, and it's really crystallized in that scene where what's his name? Miguel was telling Miles that you don't belong. You are not actually
And
Yeah,
Miles
Spider-Man.
was,
yeah,
You are
yeah.
not, yeah.
yeah.
Like
Basically a
this is
mistake.
that particular journey. I really liked it, and that particular scene, I think it was one of the standout scenes for me. The relationship with the parents, top notch. So yeah, it's a great experience through and through, despite
Awesome.
all my issues.
It's your
Mm.
best. It's your best
So
movie.
Red.
Well, no, I'm telling you
Closing
that
points.
it's his best movie. Oh, I love. I love.
Most the
I
first movie is
love.
still better.
Oh, I loved it. I have no complaints about it. I probably
Okay.
will see it again soon. I don't know when.
Okay. That
Um,
will. Oh, no, let me go. Olu.
from uh,
Closing comments.
I'll say for me, what I'm looking forward to in the third sequel is there has to be a consequence. If that movie has
For
no
who?
consequence for, there has to be some consequences for Miles. Why I'm saying that is because yes, I get you want to save everybody, but the thing is, I'm looking at it more of like the idea you plant in people's heads that you can mess things up
And save
and
everybody.
save everybody. I don't want that to be there. Now, unfortunately, somebody might have to die. Who? I don't know.
I still think
What did
Gwen
he
dies.
mess up though?
No, it's like okay. So, for example, like if we go with the fact that what Miguel said is the
It is
truth,
true.
Let's assume. Yeah, it's true.
let's assume it's the truth, right? Him just want everybody has lost somebody does not mean he has to lose somebody, but the
Okay.
mere fact that it's not an easy thing for a 15-year-old kid. It's not an easy thing to just say, "Oh, let your dad die." Like it's
For
not
anybody
for
that is a human
anybody.
being that has sense.
It's not easy. But the
Ah,
thing is, y- the world is not a utopia. You can't have everything all whole perfect and everything. There has to be consequence. If you remove
for
consequence,
consequence for doing something, there's nothing that he has done here to
No, but
deserve
there's
there
someone
there is
there,
dying.
cons
there is
there is
consequence
consequence for your choices.
for
Like
your
no
choices.
matter the
There has to
choice,
be
What
yeah.
is so okay? So if your choice, what is his choice here to save his father?
Like if they tell you that if you do this, this will
Yes.
happen.
If you save your
Most
father,
most superhero
your
stories,
universe
yes,
will
yes.
collapse.
Most
Right.
superhero stories tend to ignore that choice and say,
yeah.
okay, they found a way to save everybody. And that's
Excuse me,
usually a
but
problem.
excuse me, but it is not a Peter Parker situation where you let a robber get away and he kills Uncle Ben. In this case, he has done nothing wrong. He was bit
It's
by
a
this spider.
choice. It's
He's
It's a
still a
always
choice.
choice.
I
Like,
disagree with you guys so much,
like,
but okay.
yeah.
No, there
Because
has
like
to
for
be.
me,
Yeah,
oh,
Sonny, continue. Sorry.
okay. So like for me, this is a thing I have in a lot of superhero stories where you offer them these particular choices. Oh, if you don't do this, you are going to this is going to happen, and then they don't do it, but nothing happens. At the end of the day, it diminishes the stakes of the story that happened before because they managed to find a way to save everybody and have a happy ending. Now, I don't mind that particular happy ending, but sometimes let there be consequences for their actions. Like doing good does not always mean good results will turn out 100%, to be perfect 100%. Making
True.
the right choice sometimes results in you having to make some sacrifices. You can make the right choice, but you still need to sacrifice something. That's what makes the right choice even feel more weighty, more heavy in some way, that you are consciously giving up something to make this decision. It's different from when you make the right decision and everything always turns out rosy in the end. So that's where I think I'm looking for some consequences, not necessarily deaths, but like
Yeah.
there should be consequences for his actions.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the consequence doesn't have to necessarily be Miles' father dying. I mean, eventually, I feel somebody is going to pass, or somebody is going to sacrifice themselves in order to balance things out. Might be Miguel, who knows, since he's the one who has to carry everything on his head. But but there just has to be like there has to be like a consequence for your choices. If they take that away, like Tunde said, the thing is, we have to remember that cinema influences actions. We don't want to plant that in people's heads. It won't be the greatest outcome. That's what me I'm just saying. There has to be a
Ah,
consequence. But
ah,
I understand, Kicks, I understand what you're it doesn't have to be like a death, but there has to be a consequence for this train of
for
choices. In
making
whatever
the
way, however they
choice.
pull it, oh,
Okay.
whether he's saving his dad, there has to be a ripple effect
Excuse
in
me.
some
Okay.
shape or
Bless you.
form. That's why I said the condition is if what Miguel said is true. If what Miguel
yeah,
said is a
okay, yeah,
lie,
yeah. That's the
then
only
it
if.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Then it
That's
doesn't
the
matter.
yeah. That's the point I was going to make. That this is unless what Miguel's saying is absolutely scientifically accurate, then yes. But I well, yeah.
Okay.
What I like? There's one thing that we've not mentioned, and I think we've mentioned it before offline and lots. I've heard this joke before in the trailer, but again in the cinema, great laugh when he said Doctor Strange and that nerd from 1999.
Oh,
I laughed out loud.
That was a good one.
they gave it to the MCU. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my
That
favorite
was good.
scenes. I also like seeing the
What's that noise?
live
Chat.
action. Somebody eating sweet somewhere.
I don't know.
It's Tunde.
Today's not doing that.
Yeah.
Who is it? Who is doing this thing?
Tunde has a party going on in the house. He's just
Oh my
waiting to
God.
finish our
I also
guy
like the fact that we saw live action stills. mixed
I
in.
wanted to ask a
Oh,
question.
that was good. That was good.
There was a question I wanted to ask. Like, there was a live action scene where Spot was popping out into universes, and he
Yes.
popped out into a live action woman in a grocery store. Who is
Yeah, yeah.
that? The Asian
Venom.
woman. Who is that?
Venom.
Good.
Okay.
Venom.
That's
Very
good.
good.
I mean, I like
mention-
they did that very tastefully. It was so good.
Yes. Yes.
And the
We
mere
have
fact that
Garfield
when
as well.
when Spot showed up in a universe, if you notice the shade on Spot, just it's not like he made it look like he was like human Spot, but it was very well done that you couldn't even notice. This just feels like this Adobe Photoshop generative feel thing that they have going on now. It was really well done.
I've got a feeling that particular scene was one
It's
that
gonna-
Sonny had planned from the very get-go. That listen, our Venom universe has to also show in this thing. You have to come out with this. We're not having it.
Wait.
Because technically there's no spider in that universe, as far as we know.
Not true.
That's true. None has popped up yet.
You know? So that was but I like that scene, and I like the way, I like the fact that they used her. And and the way
She has seen
just-
everything. She has seen everything. What she wants
She
to scare her like?
so what is this nonsense again?
I'm
You
like,
know, yesterday was Venom. Now you
Yeah.
just think are coming. You know, what kind of thing is this? Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right, cool. Yeah, we have been going for a while now, so I think it's probably a good
A
idea
long
to
time, guys.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's wrap it up. Right, from me, guys, rate, like, subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 135 of Night Just Geeking Out, our review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And next week we will talk a little bit more about geek stuff with a Niger twist today.
Good night, guys. Great movie, great experience. But
next
yeah.
week is the Flash, by the way.
Oh no, the week after.
No,
The week
the week
after.
Oh no,
after
I mean
the
like
Flash.
the movie's coming out.
Yeah,
next
that's
week.
Friday. Yeah, the Friday.
Yeah.
Friday next.
Well, it's
Is
coming
it?
out on 14th.
No,
for me.
but it's basically it's episode 137 is where we'll talk about the Flash, not the next episode.
Oh, yeah, for us,
I know
yeah.
you're already kind of
Yeah.
thinking about it. Olu,
Thanks everyone. Thank you guys. It was always great as always. Thank you.
yeah, thank you for joining us, and thank you everyone for joining. Q, Tosi, Doc. I feel like I forgot someone. Oh gosh, sorry.
Tunde,
Tosin, did you say
Please,
Tosin?
I said
Imagine
Tosi. Yes,
Tosi,
be
yeah.
very careful. Be very careful. Right, that one. Do you wanna sign us out?
Yeah, guys, once again, thanks for listening. And for those watching, thanks for watching as well. And we will see you later.
All right. Bye. Okay, got it. Did you stop
So
recording?
the podcast has